just to find the loudest tease. We set down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club. I remember the ocean, memories die out too hard. But we were traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tease. We sat down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club. to find the loudest tease. We set down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, it's sunny laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club. I remember the ocean, memories die out too hard. But we were traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tease. We sat down by the fire, knowing we could.
Hello guys, welcome to the Battleknights Project India Season 1. This is day 14 and we're in the top 16. We're seeing so many teams fall, so many teams get the victory, securing those dubs. Really good comps, really good composition and execution. And it's been a great tourney so far and I'm just excited who's gonna be the victor, who's gonna take all the wins and bring it to the grand finals. But yeah, I'm your caster for this match, Lenwol, and joining me today is none other than Zoe.
Hello guys, how are you? I think you're fine, and Limal, I hope you're fine too. And yes, just as you mentioned, we have come to the top 16, so we cannot expect less from these teams, and we cannot expect anything other than the pro gameplay. So I think I'm really excited. Yes, I am really excited for the upcoming match. And upcoming matches for tonight. And you guys are joining us with the Battleknights Project Season 1, powered by Mobile Sayan, managed by my Esports and organized by Battleknights Esports and streamed by Bad Tanker. So guys, I think we might be heading to the draft phase soon, and we'll be able to witness a great match.
Yeah, without further ado, let's go to the draft phase, as you said, Zoe. But we're in the draft. Zoe, how do you think the draft is gonna go so far? It's always been priority bans for the meta heroes like the Valier, either Expo, Kufra, or even maybe jungler like Ling.
Yes, true that, and okay. I was going to mention Fanny because we could see many Fanny gameplays throughout this Tony, and we can see a comfort band coming up. That is gonna be a Fanny. I think with Fanny getting banned, many options might be open for for both the teams to go on with, because Fanny can be a really great threat to the squishy heroes, and also she has a great mobility, and there are some heroes who can counter out Fanny, but if you don't have the enough CC to counter Fanny, that would be a great issue for your team. So I think this is a pretty reasonable ban.
Indeed. And okay, it looks like after that the follow-up is gonna be a Martis ban, really great jungler, has a lot of crowd control immune and a really good funliner, but we won't be seeing any of his action in this game. And we see from the side of blue team here, the Valentina also come in. Valentina, a really great setter, and even for taking really good ultimates from the opposing teams, able to utilize that instead of their steed and just change the tide of the battles, even initiate With we've seen her utilize Minion's Fury, the Bloody Hunt, even Divine Judgment from the Kaja, and teams have been like popping off with the use of this Valentina. So it's a really good ban coming from the side of blue team. Meanwhile, red team goes for the Uranus ban. Okay, a really good EXP laner who has opened up the map for his team in a lot of games. You know, just being an ignorance to the lanes, as well as ganking and providing that vision into the enemy's backlines. So
Yes, true that. And okay, I was going to mention that we did mention that there are many good meta heroes, and you mentioned Valir, and Valir will be going to the team of Team BND. So that is a really great pick. As the first pick, I don't blame them because this Valir can be annoying, and he literally sets the land of Dawn on fire with its skills. So I think that's a really a great reasonable pick coming up. And also we can see Noveria as the mid laner being picked by Team Kala Jadu and Cho as the EXP laner coming up. I think I don't really know whether Cho's gonna go EXP or roam because either way Cho is really good.
yeah, well, it's a bit of an early pick, you know. You don't really expect Cho to pick this early, especially since you didn't see the enemy's lineup yet. And maybe that would have been a slightly better fourth or fifth pick if they really wanted to go for the Cho also. But who knows? Maybe from the side of Kalajadu, they're maybe going for a specific lineup. That's why you saw really fast lock-ins. But from the side of BND, they will be locking in that Brody and the Kufra. Okay, Svat here in the Kufra. It's gonna be. I'm really anticipating him to set up those plays with the Tyrant's Revenge, and maybe combo with the rest of the team and do a lot of damage to Kalajadu.
Yeah, if I was in Team Kalajadu, I would be crying right now because there's a Valir, bro, and a Kufra. And Brody's damage is also insane. That torn apart memory can, really reach to a really long distance. So I don't think, Team Kalajadu might have an easy time facing this BND because their lineup is so strong at the moment. And also, yes, Cho is gonna be the roamer after all for Team Kalajadu because the Badang was picked as the EXP laner, and they might, they're showing the lines of cutting off the hypers for Team BND, and I think Team BND might do the same because both the teams are yet to pick a jungler, and Fredrin goes as the first ban of the second banning phase removal.
Indeed. And that will be really good bans coming from South Kalajadu. Both teams not really picking the jungler here. And from their side, if the enemy team BND got the Fredrin, it'll just make the game even harder with the Kufra, Valir, and the Fredrin in combo. You're just gonna have a really hard time engaging, even setting up in certain plays. So it's a smart ban. And we already have the Terizla and export being removed. So Fredrin would have a much more easier time being a frontliner also. But we see from side BND countering this with a Claude ban, which is understandable. Claude could be a huge menace, and if you use him with the Purify, there's no one really exactly to stop him from using the blazing duets and melting your team. So.
Yes, true that, and also Team Kalajadu going for the Yuzong ban is also pretty reasonable because Noveria is is a I think she is like good at playing as the really backliners keeping the distance from the enemies. So if a Yuzong was to be there, I think that would be annoying for the Noveria, like to counter out the Yuzong and to cast her skills without getting caught to Yuzong. That would be hard. So that's a reasonable ban coming up, and also Hayabusa getting banned by Team BND. Another hyper pick, another jungler going out of the scene for both the teams. So let's see. I think both the teams are considering about what to pick now because Team BND, in my opinion, has won the first half of the draft. So let's see, will Team Kalajadu be able to counter out the picks that were picked in the first phase?
Yeah, and they do have a bit of advantage in the draft, you know. Venom being the last one to counterpick these last two picks from the
Mhm.
side of BND. So you have that advantage and that leverage to pick the exact perfect roamer that's utilized for the comp that BND is about to go for. But we have Vale here with the Beatrix pick, and Beatrix is a really good marksman. In a sense, she has so much utility. Everything's really balanced. She can shred, she can nuke, she can even do consistent damage also with all her skills, as the respective guns all have their own ultimate cooldowns. And Vale might just be able to use this potential for Kala Jadu to maybe do a lot of damage, even in laning and even in team fights. Though the side of BND, they are hovering this alpha, and perhaps an Esma, no, it's a Lapu Lapu instead. So it's a Lapu and an alpha. These two combinations are gonna deal a lot of damage to the side of Kala Jadu.
Yes, and considering about the first three picks and the combos of the last second picks, that's gonna be a hell of a combo in the team fights and also 1v1 situations. And they are in a perfect position to go on for the gankings, because how much of an annoying EXP laner that Lapu Lapu can be, because him with the bravest fighter in action. I think he is immune to all the CC, and he can deal so much damage even to the backliners of the uh, team fight. So I think this is a really good pick, and also to okay, to my
Yeah.
surprise, it's gonna be a link pick.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking he was gonna go for the Joy, which in this
Mm-hmm.
scenario, I think she's just gonna deal a lot of damage, and maybe went for the Ling instead because they do have a bit of lack of frontliner. Cho isn't exactly a really great presence, especially in a comp where PND has so much crowd control and damage to back it off to. So I'm guessing they're going for the more safer pick, but this is gonna enable BND to be more aggressive in the early to mid game phase. So it'll be up to to the red team to dish out a lot of damage and maybe sustain enough for getting those items and getting a comeback in those team fights.
Yes, true that, and we'll have to just wait patiently and see how these two teams are gonna, tackle up their strategies and give the A game to the enemy team in order to be, you know, go up to from the top 16, and they'll be qualifying towards the next round. And I think that's gonna be a best of three from matches from quarterfinals onwards. So this is gonna be a best of one. So this is a do or die situation, Limble, and we are already in the land of Dawn.
Yep, both teams marching down the lanes, but don't forget, guys, as we wait for the progression to be made, this stream is managed by Mayura Esports, brought to you by Battleknights Esports, and powered by Mobile Saints. Wait, did I say stream? I meant tournament. Okay, and it's streamed none other than by BT Bad Tanker, the legend. Okay, we see a bit of an early aggression that we saw mentioned, and here Agampe is going to be poked down a bit by Tushtu, and we have Navaria here trying to go for the steal, but the retribution from Pog won't allow that. And side of Kala Jadu will be maybe playing it a bit safe. Cho is forced to back a bit. Venom here with an early invade on the jungle. Will be forced to back though by Gunter on ML, but he does take that XP early on and maybe giving that a bit of leverage to the side of Kala Jadu.
Yes, and Ling is actually, with his mobility, I think he is taking the advantage. Go for each and every buff, he can reach out to, because that would help him go to level 4 faster than the Alpha. But actually, Alpha is pretty, ahead than the Ling.
No.
But let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was a like nice camping, but I don't think that Okay, we can see a possible threat towards the Alpha coming up. The show is trying its best, and the first blood was taken then and there. Nice knife coming up from the Noveria. That really helped the first blood there, and that was a GG gameplay. And Alpha, without going on to level 4, I think he had to go down as the first blood. But look at Ling, guys. But Ling is taking too much damage for going inside the tower, and he was punished. Taking the kill would be the Valir from team BND, Limwell.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay there in a real crucial moment, especially since the turtle is coming up, and you already got that advantage from slowing down the Alpha's farm. Really good early game aggression from side of Colorado, not giving that level 4 for the team fight, and even taking him down. But their jungler will be slow for his turtle, and the rest of Team BND already have this aggression. But look at Badang's positioning. He's in a really good spot for maybe making Kalajadu a comeback. The Brave Father coming in from Diablo, but won't be able to hit it. And we have Haruka here with the ultimate. Will not be able to steal the turtle, but doing a lot of damage, not letting it escape. We have the dragon coming in, and that's a kill. Alpha going down for save turtle. Haruka though is really low. Also, Tuesday doing a bit of poke damage, but we'll be able to back off. And the rest of both teams, that was a pretty good trade, I guess, but you could say it was a bit balanced.
Yeah, that Badang's, if you ask me, the Badang's positioning is so good. From the beginning itself, we could see that. So I'm expecting more from the Badang, and let's see how will he be able to manage his positioning to the end game. And Cho dealing some really great damage and showing the whereabouts of the mid laner. I think that he made aware for the Beatrix that here Valir is coming towards your lane. So be aware that Valir, disengaged at the moment with the early damage. Oh my god, look at the jump with the Tyrant Straight joining in. But okay, I think Beatrix had to use the flicker, but the torn apart memory did not let her escape at all. Torn apart memory being taken down Beatrix, but in the other hand, Brody was taken down by the Ling right on time. That was a nice gameplay coming in by Ling.
Yeah, really good one-for-one trade here and execution being done. Both teams, not letting each other get the positive side of the bargain. Always, we've seen trades after trades here, and rotations coming from both of them has been superb. As we saw, really good engages, tank playing on time from both sides. But the rotations, however, here we see the rest of BND approach here for this turtle, while Kala Jadu here is ganking on to the Brody. Really good damage coming in. And we have the Wave Dragon being used as well as the damage being dealt by Ling, and that will be enough. Wonderful snipe from Invoker also, if I must say. And this will allow Kalajadu to perhaps take this bot lane turret and maybe have a bit of leverage in the victory.
Yes, true that, and they already won the goal lane, and it's not even up to 5 minutes in the match. It's 4 minutes 50 seconds, and the second turtle is also here. I think Team B and D are engaging near the turtle while Kufra is stalling the enemies. And okay, Bravest Fighter being in action, but that was a convenient turtle though. I thought really that Ling would try to join in the turtle fight, but I think he was a bit late for that. And without a competition, the second turtle was taken down by Team B and D.
Yeah, but Kalajadu is still in the advantage, They've been getting those kills, getting the objective in there, but Cho will be caught by Alpha Charge and will be taken down, but Crackfish Air being unleashed and a lot of damage being dealt, and that is a kill for side of Veil. Bravest Spider coming by Diablo onto the Beatrix, but she will be able to flicker out. Venom getting a kill though. Diablo being only the last one left, soaking a lot of damage, and that is a double kill for Venom, getting that double, and even going on to the enemy blue buff to further solidify their lead.
Oh god, that was a really GG gameplay. Actually, the Cho was baited first, and they let Cho be taken first, and then in came the massacre with the Crackfist and the executions coming in from the team. And okay, we can see the Way of Dragon being used by the Cho on the Kufra, but Kufra managed to escape because he's not as squishy as the others in the match. But I really thought the draft, actually, yes, the draft was won by Team B&D, of course, no doubt. But look at Team Kala Jadu proving us that the draft isn't the only thing that is important in the match. That they are giving us a GG gameplay here. While the Ling saw the Alpha's blue buff and now he is going for his own now. Alpha, I thought he might try to go for the blue buff, but no, Noveria is stalling him. That's GG gameplay is coming in from Team Kalajadu and the Alpha charge being connected on to the Noveria, but it was cancelled by that crack fist coming in by the Badang, and that really saved the day for Noveria. But Noveria is trying to go for more, but Link goes down instead, like trying to go to help his teammates. He went down, and so the way of dragon being used on Lapu Lapu. Oh my god, too much going on right now. The Lapu is trying his best to escape, but Brody is dealing some damage towards Beatrix. Beatrix being taken down as well. This is, oh my god, the Kufra was also taken down by Team Kala Jadu. Limwell, too much once, too much going on.
Indeed, interactions have been back and forth, and Kala Jadu, it was been on the advantage, but Troops 2 will be able to take down the Novaria here, being caught up by Venom though. Might be able to take him down, a flicker being used, and this is forcing him to back a bit, and the rest of, okay, a flicker play by side of Haruka, but it won't be to function as you get knocked back. Also, Alpha Charge coming onto Venom, knocking him down, and we'll be able to take him down. We have Kala Jadu here, playing too much aggression, forcing some team fights, and will be punished for this as Diablo takes down Haruka as well. Flicker also being commented, it just to maybe get a surefire victory for that. Diablo still going in with Burst Fighter, will go and cool down though. Svat here using Tire Revenge, gets just one, but won't be able to do much, and the rest of Team BND will be forced to play a bit back off from this, you know. They've already got the victory. Maybe they might push in even further. Maybe take this mid lane turret. But the rest of Kala Jadu will be able to answer this. And with Dragon Kick coming here by Tools Bell will be immune with the ultimate. That's not enough. As Veil takes him down with the Nibiru. And Cho gets also traded with the last falling memories. But Alpha Charge coming in by Pohuk and will be taking down the Novaria. That's another kill for side of BND. And look at Lapu Lapu. He's so far deep in. But will be forced back in. And maybe force a bit of a turtle engage here. I mean, red buff engage for the side of Kala Jadu. So,
yeah, I think what went wrong for Team Kala Jadu was too much aggression. I think you have heard the fact that too much of anything would not be good, right? So too much aggression and too much confidence was taken out by Team Kala Jadu. And okay, the cracked fist being used on the Alpha, but Alpha uses the Alpha charge to go behind the Badang, and the Badang was followed up by the teammates from B&D and was taken down as well. But in the hands of Team Kala Jadu would be the Labu Labu being taken down by them, and this is gonna be EXP laner to EXP laner trade 1-to-1. But the Lord is here, but this is not an Illuminant Lord. But somehow, would they go for Lord, or would they like try to wait for an Illuminant Lord to be spawned so that they can, you know, get an extra aggression? But let's see. The draft, of course, is won by Team B&D, so I think they might have a chance because they have like really you know, come up to the level of Team Kala Jadu at the moment, and they are even leading the gold, and the kills are on the same level, while the more of the towers were taken down by the equal amount of towers being taken down by both the teams, and the Chose Wales Dragon being used on the Alpha, and Alpha is getting charged. Oh my god, the Ling took down the Alpha, guys, and Jonambat memory connecting onto the Badang, dealing too much damage. Badang goes down as well, Ling goes down as well. This Brody is dealing too much damage, taking 2 members from each teams down. The team fight is like equal for both the teams, and the Lord is still here. I don't think any team would, you know, go for the Lord because retribution is not in the hands of any team.
yeah, but we would say earlier, Joey, you did mention the draft being in favor of BND, but I'll have to disagree slightly. BND had that early game pressure. I mean, had the early game better draft, but they didn't really utilize on this. Instead, we saw Kalajado win the early game here. But the Way of the Dragon will be coming onto Diablo, and this just getting melted down. Will be taken down by Invoker, and that just might be the sign for them to maybe apply more pressure and take this lore perhaps, or push in more lanes. Because BND, you're down one member, so you're not really going to be able to take in team fights. And if you do, look at Badang, he's just going to split push, but he is coming here for this engage possibly. The Lord's getting dealt down with half HP. Svat charging the Kufra Tyrant's Rage, will be able to hit them, but the Lord's already taken. Ling will be stunned though, and will be using Blaze to somehow immune some of that damage. And Wari takes down Kufra. It's not done though, as the Wave Dragon comes onto Brody. One of Nature being popped in early though, and Agampe will be able to be taken down early. And Venom also trying to go for that, but the Warrior snipes it, and that's another kill, double kill for Invoker. Haruka's here for fighting a bit more further, but they do already won the battle, as the Lord is marching down top lane, and they have the advantage in numbers. Although frontliner being missing, Agampe being down, but I believe Lord could act as a substitute frontliner.
Yes, Lord can be the a great frontliner if Team Kala Jadu choose to use him well, because Lord would be a good approach to take down towers, or at least they can actually end the game with a Lord. But okay, I think this is an Illuminate, not an Illuminate Lord, because the Lord is not charging at the moment, but Diablo is trying his best to cover up for the Lord, and yes, the Lord was taken down without losing an inhibited tower. But I think Team BND only have the inhibited towers left, so I think the Lord was successfully defended, but they'll have to watch out for any aggressions coming in from Team Kala Jadu, because the fact that they were playing aggressively in the early game teaches us that they won't be denying to go for an aggression once more. So let's see.
Yeah, and the pressure is there. I was thinking they would maybe freeze a bit of lanes, but they're not stopping with the pressure. They're wanting to go in, possibly in the bot lane here. Venom going in early, taking down the turret to a bit of the HP, but will get stunned by Tyrant's Rage and forced to use the ultimate to back off here. Swat being dealt a bit of damage, but will be able to force to flicker out. Gambi here with the Jikundo, and just might not go in. Never mind. Okay, he doesn't go in, but the turret is really low, and Diablo here looking for potential stop from this push. It's a bit forceful there. The rest of Team Calabondo is positioned for this, and they will get the turret, securing their victory further. Whereas water being used early on, Haruka with the ultimate, but Diablo will be able to figure out, and the rest of Team Kalajadu already got what they came for. They got an inhibited turret. Lord is falling out in 26 seconds, and we can see most of the core members already backing off. Agampi, though, it's still providing a bit of vision and pressure to maybe not allow the rest of Team BND to come out further for this Lord.
Yes, I think the next Lord would, give us an insight of how the match is gonna go, because the ones who will be taking down the second Lord would be able to get a bit ahead of the other team, because this is an aggressive Lord. And if Team Kala Jadu managed to get the second Lord too, I think that would be easy for them to go for the end. Okay, they are going for the Lord, and the inhibitor tower, bot lane inhibitor tower is not available, so I think Lord is gonna march in the bottom lane. I do not think that going for a team fight is a good idea for them. Okay, Ling at the right moment, he is going back with the ultimate, guys. We could see that Ling was escaping at most crucial moments with his ultimate, and also Cho, the immortality being popped out. Cho was able to escape and disengage at the right moment too. Somehow the Lord is about to be spawned. Yes, he is marching in the bottom lane, and Alpha is down at the moment, but Alpha will be there for the Lord fight. I do not think that this would be easy for Team BND at all.
Indeed, and then that early fight was a bit of surprise from both sides. I was thinking they were gonna wait for the Lord also, as you said, but most of the members are still alive. Everyone's still alive, and we are gonna see a lot of aggression here in the bot lane and possibly mid lane here. Kufra charging with the Tyrant's Revenge will be kicked by the Great Wave of the Dragon, and a lot of damage being dealt. That will be melted down to real low HP. Immortality is being forced, and he will be taken out by the Novaria. Rest of Team BND trying to defend this Brave Fire coming out from Diablo, not doing that much of damage though. Haruka here with the wall will be forced to come back a bit, and Lord is being cleared, but minions are coming from both lanes, and we have Pog here going diving in the turret and doing with Alpha Charge a bit of damage. Brave Spider being used, and a great flicker combo. The damage is melting them slowly, but Haruka with the wall will be able to melt them down, and there's only two members of BND left. Gunter and ML will be kicked by the ultimate from the show, and is melted down. Well, Tustu trying his best to defend, but won't be able to do so. As okay, never mind, he succeeds, but the next wave is already here, and it's 4 members of Kala Jadu left here to take this victory, and they do, securing this game. Victory going to Kala Jadu. What an amazing team fight. Zoe, break it down.
Oh my God, I really thought that, I really told you, right? Team Kala Jadu, if they get this Lord, that would give us an insight on who will win the match. And they proved it. They proved with this Lord that they could do, much of a thing than the first Lord, because they took down all the towers so that all the lanes would be pressured equally when Lord comes in the base. And meanwhile, that Cho gave a really great flicker plus the Way of the Dragon combo. And with the teammates following up right on time, they could, take down the match for them. And the Kufra, he tried to engage, giving in a nice jump and tried to, stall the enemies. There was no follow-up for him, so he died in vain there actually, in the last fight near the mid lane. So that was in vain, I guess, because if that tank was there, they could have hold on for it for more than this.
Yeah, indeed, I completely agree with you, Zoe. But look at take a look at the stats. Invoker on that Novaria with 36% damage, 98,000, highest for side of his team, and he just provided so much in that game. The vision with the ultimate just denied them aggression from BND to maybe push out a bit more, and Gampe, the Cho, and Invoker just allowed Kala Jadu to be that aggressive to take those objectives without being contested. The Lord was taken down 2 times, and Invoker's damage was not to be messed with. Also, Veil, really good follow-ups, really good damage with Beatrix, rockets, and the SMG. And meanwhile, Tustu and Gunto and ML did try to counter a bit, and Pog had some really good alpha charge, but Diablo had some great flicker also, but it was not up to point, as they couldn't finish off with the rest of the time. I guess if timed a bit well with Svat and the Kufra, and maybe could have done a bit more. But yeah, in team fights, as you said, Zoe, most of members of Team BND were picked off early on, and this allowed Kala Jadu to be more aggressive and thus winning those team fights with the lack of member, especially since you're a crowd control heavy team.
Yes, and congratulations for Team Kala Jadu for qualifying towards the next round. And unfortunately, Team who's this team? Okay, Team BND. Yes, Team BND will have to, we have to wish them a really best of luck for the next time. And we really hope that you'll be back more stronger than this to fight off against maybe Team Kala Jadu once again, and you can take the victory.
Maybe.
So practice makes perfect, right?
Indeed, sorry. Yeah, Kala Jadu did use a bit of their magic, their black magic, and then they did get secured this win. But yeah, that's game number 1. Victory going to Kala Jadu. Guys, we'll be right back after a short break. This has been your caster, Linwo, and join me today, your also co-caster, Zoe. And yeah, stay tuned.
find it first. But here something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here
Alright, guys, welcome back to the Battleknights Project India Season 1, Day 14, and we are starting with top 16, and it's day 1 of the top 16. And on the week, let me just give you a brief introduction about our teams. On the left side, we have Ghoul of Tokyo, and on the right side, it's the Upper Moon Demons. And joining by my side is none other than my friend Linwell. Linwell, how are you?
Hello guys and viewers here in the chat. What an amazing day. We're already in the top 16. As mentioned before, it's the second match. And as Sol introduced, it's Ghoul of Tokyo on the blue side and Upper Moon Demons on the red side. We're in for a treat. Upper Moon Demons have been blasting through the series and playing really well with the drafts and composition, while Ghoul of Tokyo also has been doing, and they've got a similar set of playstyle. So I'm really interested to how both teams are gonna play along with this, as we have your Dream Boy Fate with the first ban, Joy getting banned off really early. So
Yeah, exactly. The Joy getting banned. I don't know why Joy is getting banned. I think that might be a respect ban coming from the side of the Ghoul of Tokyo. And let's just see what you in the Upper Moon Demon is going for the Kadita, man. I think these both are respect ban. I don't know about that. But actually I remember that Upper Moon Demon Nutty is actually a good Joy player. So that's a respect ban coming in from the side of the team Ghoul of Tokyo. But look at the second man coming from blue side. It's the Ling again. We have seen what Ling can play in the previous game.
Yeah, indeed. And both these teams have done their research here. Two jungle bans, two really good initiators and divers who have a lot of damage, consistent damage, as to say. And Joy, so you mentioned that Joy was a bit weird, but like Joy is a really good hero in the sense you can play her in the mid lane, you can play her as a jungler, and also in the XP lane. So this allows a bit more flexibility, and she has really great sets as she has that immunity to crowd control skills. So you'll have to force and suppress from the side of the enemy team, and from that you can build off your team. So there's a really good balance coming from both sides here. Krita, Breath of the Ocean, Rough Waves, so much damage and crowd control abilities, combined with the Petrify, is able to set and burst down almost anyone in the enemy team.
Exactly. That's well defined, brother. And look at the team boy going for that first pick. Mart is one of the finest jungler out there, and let's see how will the Upper Moon Demons will react to it. And they're just reacting with Leslie pick here and Nutty. Let's see what Nutty gonna pick because his joy is banned here. So let's see what he is cooking right now.
And it's gotta be Nutty, you could say so.
Yeah.
Ranger does lock in that Leslie. So we have a bit of funneling gonna be done by Upper Moon Demons. Maybe possibly a XP laner or even a roamer, although it's a bit risky though. But understandably so, but Dragon Blaze goes for the Xavier. And this is gonna be really standard picks coming from both sides. As most of the options have been already taken, the Terizla and Exports are already gone. So you're gonna have a bit more easier time being a frontliner. And there it is, the Kufa from Leo Can Retri. He's gonna lock in the Kufa. We're gonna see a lot of plays being set up by this. Was made also in the previous match, but that team BND sort of lost because of that. It wasn't enough as in the sense, but we'll see if Ghoul of Tokyo can play it better and maybe bring a better set. Nete is still waiting on the last pick. Time is ticking. Possibly could go for a mage or maybe even horseman, to counter the Leslie in the laning phase. A Clint maybe perhaps, but instead locks in that Faramis. Okay, we're gonna see a lot of aggression from side Ghoul of Tokyo with this cult altar.
Exactly. Nice prediction, London, brother. Look at that. You just said they will pick mage and they picked the mage, and actually the Faramis pick is actually good here because if the Kufra dives along with the Martis, Faramis with his ultimate, just revive them and then just let their team go to their safety. And meanwhile, look at the Minotaur pick coming from the side of the team of Moon Demons. And the known Fury we have seen, but how good of a setup that ultimate can do. And meanwhile, we are moving towards the second banning phase, and it's going. Nutty has a ban. What will you guess here? Who will ban this year?
Well, thinking since I was gonna say marksman, since the side of Ghoul of Tokyo hasn't picked their marksman and Leslie has already been locked, and there it is, the Brody ban here. So this is gonna reduce a bit of options. Might see even a Claude ban from the side of Upper Moon Demons. But Ghoul of Tokyo does have the hand, however, and could possibly go for a jungle ban or even a Yuzong perhaps. Okay, Bane is pretty good to get that off as the deadly fish catch will be able to do a lot of damage and maybe slow down the side of Ghoul Tokyo. So this is a really great ban carrying side of Ghoul of Tokyo.
Exactly. I think that Tokyo, Ghoul of Tokyo Ghoul is just trying to, limit that anti-diving bomb that possibly that Upper Moon Demon is going to pick. So they just sense that, and actually, it's a good game thought coming from the side of the Ghoul of Tokyo. Meanwhile, let's see the Upper Moon Demons, and their name is actually like anime versus anime. So I'm pretty excited for this match. And let's see what Jazz gonna ban. Let me guess it. They don't. Yeah, I was about to guess a Flint. They are gonna ban the Flint, but they just banned it. Okay,
Yep, so as you said, this is like an anime battle, Tokyo Ghoul versus Demon Slayer. I'm interested to see how the tables are going to be turned and maybe a bit of aggression from both sides. As from Ghoul of Tokyo, you have the early game comp, and from side of Upper Moon Demons, you have the disengage. So who's going to be the victor, the aggression or the defensive side? We'll only have to wait and see, as there are two more picks here, and Destiny is still with the ban and would possibly go for a Mensitar sensibly so, although it's a bit strange since their jungler has already been picked. Martis is already locked, so I don't really see that much of sense because Mensitar usually is picked to counter certain junglers, the Ling, the Lancelot, and first even Hayabusa. But I guess they don't really want the King's Calling to be active and disrupt any of their teams from having their dashes disrupted. Nutty does lock in that Uranus though, and this is going to be providing Upper Moon Demons a lot of aggression. with their map control and rotations.
Exactly. I think the King's Fallen Mincetar is pretty much decent ban because Mincetar can counter the jungle of the Martyrs, so it's pretty good thought coming from the side of the team Ghoul of Tokyo. Meanwhile, the Uranus pick coming from the no Nachi. Nachi, like Uranus, we have seen what Uranus can do in this tournament. Like he is actually one of the good and the finest ESPN that you can pick for your team. And the ESPN coming from the side of the team to Ghoul of Tokyo is a core is handsome and he has picked the handsome Aldous and the marksman destiny going for the carry and carry is a tank killer and that's a good choice because they have the the Minotaur, the Uranus, but they have a solid front line. The team Upper Moon Demons, how will they can counter that? Because if you see that Martis is the early game and they have got like full late game comp, so I'm just really excited to see how this is gonna go. And they're just hopping towards this junk. Oh, it's going to be a Granger jungler. Will we see a possible Granger jungler here? Because he has unlocked Jazz is going to give us some jousting gameplay here.
Indeed, just with that Granger, it's a matter of a few seconds, and it a Granger. Okay, looking at both comps, it's pretty well balanced. Although the side of Ghoul of Tokyo has that late game damage, but I'm guessing it's gonna be pretty hard for the Aldous to do much in the mid to late game phase because they have that Minotaur for that disengage and. Besides that, Leslie also deals a lot of damage. So it'll be up to Ghoul of Tokyo to have that aggression and maybe go in as a team, set up at the exact time so you can just melt the backline and finish off the rest of the time.
Exactly. And I'm pretty excited for this. Both the routes are pretty balanced. I just forgot to mention that they have the Aldous and the carry for the late game. So this is going to be a very power to power match. This all boils down to the game plan, game thought, and the macro and the micro gameplay. Meanwhile, this stream is brought to you by Battleknights Esports, powered by Mobile Science, managed by Mayura Esports, and streamed by BT, the Back Tanker Legend. So we will shortly move into the land of Dawn, Glenville. So what are you gonna guess? Like which play will be in this lane?
Well, I'm thinking Aldous might play the mid lane. It's a bit risky though, considering they have a Xavier and a Minotaur. But he does get that advantage in stacks. But okay, I sort of forgot. In the previous patch note, we had a buff to Aldous where he gets 10 stacks from killing a siege minion. So I'm guessing this might be a return for Aldous in the XP lane. Although it's pretty hard considering most of the meta heroes are really tanky on units who deal a lot of damage, and we have an early lane cut here coming by Nutty, so he's gonna apply a lot of pressure to the jungle. Although from side of Upper Moon Demons, they do a 4-man funneling strat where the jungle is being melted a lot, and rest of the team Upper Moon Demons are playing a standard draft.
Yeah, exactly. And look at the positioning on the Minotaur and the Xavier. And look at the Uranus just going in and being nutty towards the team to Ghoul of Tokyo. Faram is just trying to hook the Minotaur and this Letho can go for towards. And yes, he will take a Letho and a Tyrant's Revenge connecting with the flicker, but nobody holds there. And that's a good dash coming in from the Jazz. That was a lucky, I guess. But meanwhile, Nutty just being nutty towards the Martis, not letting Martis get ahead of the farm of the jungler. And look at that Nathi, bro. He's just going in and cutting the lane and not letting Aldous just not letting this Aldous breathe. And I think the early game advantage towards the Nutty because his rotation is gonna be pretty fast and Aldous. And we can see a possible gank in the top lane because as your dream boy Fade is going to be level 4. Yeah, he's going to be level 4 here, and we can see a possible gank in the top lane. Leo Conradi is discharging Tyrant's Revenge, connecting with the Tyrant's Revenge, going with that ball, but Mortal Coil has been used from the Mortis. He might go for that, Minotaur. Minotaur still has his. Never mind, he doesn't have his flicker, my bad. And nobody holds there. They will just have to back up. I think that was a pretty defensive play coming from the side of the team Upper Moon Demons.
Yeah, and successfully done so because side of Ghoul of Tokyo, they're playing stably well, applying their aggression, and it's a bit late though to the turtle fight, and we'll be able to make it though. But Ghoul of Tokyo has the advantage in the Aldous. He's just been taking stacks without being contested, and here we'll pop on the ultimate retribution.
Retribution has been popped out from the Martis, and Aldous going with the ultimate, just taking the first blood. Getting Martis just getting the first blood of the Granger, and Nutty uses his ultimate. Will have to back off using his ultimate, and along with the Xavier and the Minotaur will also back off. And that team fight, I think, went towards the team Ghoul of Tokyo, and that was a pretty good retribution coming from the side of the Smartest. That was a good retry gap right there.
Yeah, and okay, Nutty, I think realizing a bit that you shouldn't be giving all those free stacks here, playing a bit on the lane more often, but might just be too late, because Aldous is already have those a tremendous amount of stacks, and just being able to two-shot the siege minions. Even so, pressure is still being applied on the top lane side in the goal lane. We'll look at the itemization bit here. We have steel leg plates being committed by Leslie and the Uranus. Leslie a bit weird because carries damage comes from the passive proc, from the true damage, and steel leg plates did get a nerf. So this is gonna ignore her a bit of the early game pressure. She won't be able to build in time here. We have Tyrant's Wrench being committed by Kufra and Flicker also being used. Not really catching anyone though. Here Leo can retreat is still staying here and not really giving a sight of Upper Moon Demons to have that aggression. So
yeah, exactly. And we can see a possible. Never mind that your Dream Boy will have to bet. Yeah, Farm is giving the short call that let's go do gank in the top, and Aldous and misses with that. The stun. Martis misses with the stun. Aldous going in towards that top lane, but he will stop in the middle lane for that. Few more stacks, and that's a 5-man rotation coming from the side of Upper Moon. No, never mind, not Upper Moon Demons, but to Ghoul of Tokyo, and Minotaur just giving the vision of the carry, like a carry is here, just back out guys, and meanwhile Leslie just look at the Leslie, they're not letting the carry to farm, and we can see a possible Tyrant's Revenge, nobody holds there, and Uranus coming for the gank, and Aldous is still in the board. We can see a numbers advantage here towards the team Upper Moon Demons. We can see a possible Minnow and Fury connecting along with that Granger with the ultimate. Knocking up coming from that Minotaur, and look at it, Leo contracted Dawn of Light connecting, Leslie getting the kill of 2 people, the Faramis and the Kufra, and the sniper has been popped off of the Leslie. But yeah, this team fight goes towards the team of a Moon Demon. What a team fight that was!
Indeed, a really good place here. I would like to highlight the Inete really well played on the Cult's altar. Just ignored that crowd control and damage from the rest of the team aside Upper Moon Demons. You have that immunity frame when the shield gets popped off, and that just allowed them to sustain that ability used by side of Upper Moon Demons. And Nutty here getting targeted by the Aldous will be marked.
Yeah, he's getting marked and hooked. There is possible hook coming from Ramesh, and Natty will be taken down here. Did you see the damage, bro? Did you see the damage?
Yeah, there was a lot of damage, but
I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it.
Aldous has been free farming his stacks since the first minute of the game. He hasn't really contested, instead cutting waves and things. But we see the rest of the side Upper Moon Demons not really applying pressure, and a flicker as one has to play from the Aldous. We'll be able to take that Granger. That damage was insane. So
yeah, that damage was insane, and you need a proper timing for the flicker and using that stun properly. Just flicker in their face, and the stun pops right away. And in the top lane, you can see a possible gank. Yeah, not a possible gank, but Leslie has been ganked by the 4 people of the team Blue, and they are just gonna take the top lane like that. Yeah, I guess they, and look at the bot. Aldous not letting that. I'm just pretty seeing that first time that Aldous has become so good in the East lane. He's not letting Uranus, and look at the damage coming to the Aldous, bro. I think Uranus might need to have to build a radiant armor for the Aldous as soon as he can.
Yeah, well, blade armor perhaps maybe, or
even my bad,
armor. Yeah, Twilight armor or blade armor, I'm guessing. But Nutty here has not been able to apply that much pressure because all this has just one-shotted the minions in a matter of few seconds. But here, Total Fight being connected, Minon's Fury knocking up 2 people.
Yeah, knocking up 2 people, and this turtle will also go toward the decimation, connecting and killing that. Jazz is also gonna take a double kill for the Martin. Martin is going for that more. He needs more food. Going in for the turret. He will not turret. Nutty coming for the rescue of his team. Dawn of Light connecting 1 point, taking down the Paramis, and this Nutty is going to be a problem. And Flicker combo coming from the. Oh, that was a good S1 coming from the carry, slowing down 2 people of the team Upper Moon Demons. Ghoul of Tokyo take this fight, I guess.
Yeah, and as the game progresses, Ghoul of Tokyo is just gonna get stronger. Stacks are being built minute by minute, and the carry is also going to be a huge force to be reckoned with in the late game after he gets his items. But he did go for the HS, which is a bit weird. Thinking, usually you see the carry go for the attack speed first, corrosion, and maybe the golden staff, but opted for DHS instead early on. And meanwhile, the rest of the team of Ghoul of Tokyo have standard builds, really good damage, but you don't really have that anti-heal.
Oh, look at bot, look at bot, look at bot. There might be a possible decimation coming in from the Mortis and Mortal Coil picking up that Uranus. Did you see that damage coming in from the Altus? And meanwhile, we have the time for the itemization as well.
Yeah, okay. I guess anti-heal isn't really necessary since Aldous has just been two-shotting this Uranus just enough for the decimation to take him down. And rest of side of Upper Moon Demons, you need to answer this because if you don't, it's just gonna snowball to a series of losses in trades, and they're just gonna get stronger as time progresses, as I pointed out. Meanwhile, the rest of team Upper Moon Demons itemization here, not really up to standard because you have the double anti-heal being taken even by Mentor, I'm guessing. Maybe only taken for the Steel Lake Plates and Oracle, perhaps, which is not what you want to see. Aldous here getting melted down to half HP, but will be able to escape. And Leo here zoning them out. Possibly, maybe if they chase, could have gone for N, but Lord will be spawning in a matter of few seconds. Uranus pushing bottom lane. The rest of team, Upper Moon Demons getting ready for his team fight, trying to scout out the rest of team Ghoul of Tokyo. Will spot that Kufra.
Oh, Minoan Fury connecting from the Minotaur. Dawn of Light also connecting, but the revive was on point on the Paramis. The cult altar was on point, and Paramis. And oh my minute, this Mart is going for that, decimation and carry with that damage of this. That is so close, and sniper has been used from that Leslie, but the Mart has a mortal coil and will have a reduction in the damage. That team fight goes to the team Ghoul of Tokyo.
Yeah, and Ghoul of Tokyo has been on the lead. They're even taking this Lord, capitalizing over it. Although the marksman and the jungler is going down to low HP, but it's not being contested, and they will be able to retreat safely. Nutty here being doing a 1v1 against an Aldous who is 2 levels ahead and has a lot of stacks. Will be able to do a lot of damage. Look at this damage. He's almost 3-shotting the red buff, gives it to his jungler. Rest of his team, Ghoul of Tokyo providing the vision. I'm loving Leo here with his positioning, just not allowing Upper Moon Demons to have that map control, giving them answers to back off, and they're just gonna push in with this Lord. So
and who let that one punch man goes towards the Tokyo Ghoul? Have you seen a one punch man going towards the Tokyo Ghoul? This Ardus has been a one punch man for their team and providing up necessary dividends for his team, and this Ghoul of Tokyo has been on a roll with that, with the utter dominance, and especially the Smartest has built in that damage, and we can see what the Smartest is doing with the decimation, and that the proper engages with the proper timing. And this is the early game. It's his time, and it's not early game, but it's now mid. Yeah, but still it's his time, and this Jazz haven't proved a lot of dividends towards his team, so he just need to be patient. And this Dawn of Light connecting in the mid lane and trying to take them in, and the cult order popping off, and meanwhile the Uranus is in, and who's this? Yeah, I forgot. Kufra going in, but we'll have to back off. And Destiny is also low. Carrie will have to force back using her flicker. And this was like a no trade for nothing, but a lot of utility has been used from the side of the team Ghoul of Tokyo.
Yeah, did get the victory though. They got multiple turrets, and Ghoul of Tokyo, I might just add, perfect use of the call altar. Ignored almost every damage and crowd control after it was being activated, and Unete has just been on point so far in the entire game. And the rest of Ghoul of Tokyo, the aggression they've applied in all the maps after having this lead, Aldous is just being able to handle himself, not really being targeted by the rest of Ghoul of Tokyo, by the rest of Upper Moon Demons, and he's just being able to free farm and just become stronger and stronger by the minute. Even in the itemization, he's going a bit of a hybrid route, so he's gonna be dealing a lot of damage to even tank units and taking also a lot of damage. Leslie does go for the Sea Halberd though, which it's a bit strange considering the only one who she's gonna benefit from that is Aldous and the Kufra, but she does need a bit more damage and better itemization, as the endless battle is very crucial for her to deal a lot of damage in the late game. So
yeah. As we are talking about, look at the goal lead, bro. We haven't talk about the goal lead. It's almost around 8-9K mark, and it might extend to the 10K, or it might get shortened and have the team Upper Moon Demons. Maybe it's shortened this goal lead, but we will see as we move on to. And look at the Tyrants, they were charging. Oh, that was so close and nobody holds. And this camouflage damage coming from the this Lusty has been like it will hit like a truck if it goes to the late game, but she's like scaling up for the late game, and we can see a fight between Nutty and the bot lane core is handsome, and Aldous is just providing a lot of dividend. Look at that Uranus HP while he was fighting the Aldous, and Aldous with a chase fade and going toward the Granger. Can be that's a good vision coming from the Aldous, and he will just have to back off as camouflage damage has been put towards the core his hands, and this Lord will go towards the team Ghoul of Tokyo, and that can we see a possible pick off coming. Oh, never mind. The Minotaur will back off, and the score is Hansa providing a going for the red buff, and retribution will be popped off from from not from Marty, but the Jazz, and he will take that red buff.
Yeah, I don't really see what Upper Moon Demons was aiming for that, because not really committing for the Lord fight, as you don't really see the any gaps in their composition. So either that or not even playing safe, and you have to contest for this Lord, considering you're down in so many turrets. It's just only gonna get harder, and if the enemy team gets an inhibitor turret, you're just gonna have a really hard time. The goal gap is so wide, the stacks are there from the enemy team, and they just have the perfect positioning, which we've seen so far. A perfect use of utility also, and the rest of Ghoul of Tokyo are also positioned for his Lord. Perfectly timed minion waves also, getting the top turret and pushing a bit of mid. And we have the Lord here marching down bot lane, and enhanced Lord, might I add, which is a Luminous Lord, and he's gonna be a really hard thing to mess with.
Yeah, Luminous Lord just marching in the bot lane, inhibitor, and will take a strike. And meanwhile, the top lane inhibitor is down. That is fast as AF, and we can see Nutty just pulling, and Parama just pulling off Nutty, and Urena just trying to just make sure that the mid lane inhibitor is just standing up. Yes, he is standing, and the Lord just melting down from the Leslie. All the team members are just focusing the Lord. As we can see, Luminous Lord can provide a lot of turret damage, and Donald Wright again connecting, giving the vision of the Cobra along with that vision that you get in the reverse side, and the Kufra will get vision. The team Upper Moon Demon will get the vision of the Kufra, and Kufra will have to back off here.
What makes it strange though, Soul, is none of the members, marksmen of Upper Moon Demons, didn't go for the Wind of Nature. The true damage from that physical damage, that nuke from all this is just so much, but they're not really building for it. The point of armor is there for the Granger, by the Granger.
Yeah, I was about to say that Twilight armor coming from the Granger.
Yeah, but that's not enough, considering all this can just do a 1-2 combo with a flicker and just deal so much damage. So you have to be ready with the Wind of Nature, and maybe ignore a bit of more of the damage. Even Carry has a lot of burst potential. Using the wind could possibly ignore a bit of that, and you're so far ahead in the game already from Ghoul of Tokyo, and they're just gonna apply more aggression as the rest of the team just have their items ready for diving and doing a lot of damage. Marty's going for a hybrid build, so it's just gonna enable them to burst them down so much. And we've never seen Upper Moon Demons initiate perfectly well, so they need to bring up on that if they want to make a comeback in situation. And Lord is spawning in a matter of a few seconds, so they'll need to gather up and possibly contest this. So
can we see a possible contest coming from Upper Moon Demons, as Ghoul of Tokyo just starting the Lord, and Carry using her light will just melt down this Lord, and again the chase fate connecting. Oh, but yeah, that was a good vision coming from the Aldous, and this Lord will just melt it right away. And I think we are moving towards the late game, and they're just waiting. Look at, and this is this has been just only 16 minutes, and the kill ratio is 8:4. 8 kills coming from the side of the Ghoul of Tokyo, and Upper Moon Demons has 4 kills. Meanwhile, the turrets, all the turrets are down for the Upper Moon Demons. Only the mid lane inhibitor is standing up. Meanwhile, there's only one turret is taken down from the Ghoul of Tokyo, but the mid lane turret is also down. But all the turrets are still untouched. That you have to keep in mind. And as the Luminous Lord is marching the top lane, can we see a possible team? Not a possible comeback coming from Upper Moon Demons?
Yeah, and Chase Fade being cancelled a bit early on. Rest of the team, Ghoul of Tokyo trying to go in, not really setting up. Well, Leo here's waiting a bit for possibility.
Oh, Flicker coming in from the Aldous, and that was close. Let's see, just and a miss finish with level. Minnow and Fury connecting again. Aldous will taken down on the Leslie. The players were so trying hard to defend, but nobody was defending the base as the Lord was marking the base, and this Lord will take the win for the Ghoul of Tokyo. What a game this was, bro! Perfectly executed from the Ghoul of Tokyo, and yeah, that just lead them to win here.
Yeah, I wonder a bit uncoordinated there in the end, but I guess that really didn't matter because there was only the inhibitor base left, and it was a really enhanced lord, and a lot of minions were also enhanced, and the enemy team Ghoul of Tokyo all built up their items really tanky, went in for the last push. A wonderful use by Unetia also with the call altar for protecting the allies a bit. Leo was a bit slow on the Tyrant's Revenge, but it did catch one or two people, so that was sufficient enough for stalling and the victory of that match going to Goal of Tokyo. So
Yeah, exactly. And look at the MVP coming from both the teams. Martyrs with that Dino damage, 25% damage. I think second highest, and the first is the for Amis. And look at the Dragon Blaze, it's a 7.2 and his 104 KDA. That's perfect KDA, but the perfect KDA can't win you the game. But never mind, he just played so well. 80% team fight participation coming from Dragon Blaze, 29% damage. And 30 with that, 82% direct damage. Nobody, and yeah, and this year also, but rest of the people doesn't push, haven't pushed there. So that was a very well fought game between both the teams. However, the team Upper Moon Demons have to go here, and it will unfortunately have to say goodbye. And the Ghoul of Tokyo will move towards further brackets. And what this was, I guess, the second game. Am I right?
yeah, and it was, and so I want to highlight one last point there.
Yes, sir.
A win of nature being lacked by both the marksmen in the enemy team. When all this is dealing a lot of damage, even the carry and the martyrs, you need that win of nature for having that security and being a bit more aggressive or defensive, even when the enemy team plays a flicker play. Especially since most of your initiation is going to get countered by the by the Faramis' call altar. So you're gonna have to look out for other options and maybe an extended team fight. Maybe bait out some of those skills with Dragon Blaze's ultimate, and maybe do a bit more damage, forcing the ultimate a bit early. But yeah, we didn't see of any of that, so that will be a victory for side of Ghoul of Tokyo. This has been the second match of today, and I'm your caster, Lin. Will join me today was none other than the great Soul Sky, and that will be game number 2. We'll be right back after a short break, guys. Go grab some popcorn, maybe a drink, and we have more games ready to be streamed.
And don't forget to stay hydrated, my friends.
first. But here something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here
Hello, 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 everyone out there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. You all are watching the Battleknights tournament brought to you by Battleknights Esports. Well, that was kind of obvious, wasn't it? But there are a few more things that I would like to add. It's being managed by Mayura and also being streamed by Bad Tanker the Legend. So these are a few things that you always have to keep in mind. And again, we have an international supporter, and it's Mobile Sane. So we're in collaboration with them as well. For now, we've seen two amazing quarterfinals matches, top 16 matches, and we have got the third one in front of us. And again, as my co-caster is Jinx, so I am not allowed to take the team names, but we will be jumping into that match real quick. In the meantime, Jinx, you would like to announce the names of the teams.
Yeah, sure. Before that, though, Scared at top 16, I mean, this is only the third match of the day. I'm sure there's two very exciting matches before this. We're going to be seeing one more, and I'm going to introduce the teams like you obviously expect me to. So we have RYZEN on the blue side, and then Daddy Got No Chills on the right side here. We're ready to go to the draft pick very soon. The teams were sort of talking about a lag issue in the lobby. I hope that does not come into friction. I hope they're able to sort it out because I'm ready for that exciting match.
Absolutely. I mean, I've seen the matches that they've been through in the past, and the draft that they actually go with, it's entirely opposite. One of them being just, meta-oriented team, while the other one, they like to blend in their own comfort picks into that meta. So for now, we're going to jump right into the draft. I mean, people do listen to you after all, Jinx, since we're going to see the first few bans coming in, and looking at the scenario in front of us, I am expecting them to probably take away a link. And here we go. Williams.
The Wali, he's always there. I mean, I was sort of expecting him to fall off now that we're in the top 16, but he is still very prominent in the banning phase. And if he's not banned, he gets picked. And now we have that Eve ban coming in as well. I'm not exactly sure Eve, she is a very good mage, but she did get a bit of a nerf. Her slow is reduced, and she's pretty okay to counter if you have some assassins. In fact, if you have Esmeralda, Xbox, those are the few things that really counter her up. Now, something we were talking about before the game started, Scared it. This is something we don't usually see, right? RYZEN during, I think, one of the last match, they had a Zilong who just pushed the lane and won the game for them. Are we going to see something like that this time?
It is highly possible. That is what I actually meant when I said that some team likes to get their own blend in, getting the Zilong in the EXP lane, pushing and ending. I mean, we've experienced that a lot in those rank games. I'm pretty sure, Jinx, you would have experienced that a lot. That annoying Zilong, whenever you are playing Kagura, he would just jump out of that bush from nowhere, finish you off, and then push that tower as well as finish the game. That's the reason why you haven't ranked up. But nonetheless, jokes apart, guys, we're going to jump back into the drafting phase. I really love the adjustment of the Cho ban coming in. We've seen Daddy Got No Chills going in with that Cho jungle quite a few times, and we're seeing the ban of a Cho coming in. So I think so that they've actually done their homework.
I think so too. I mean, the Xbox, very good hyper as well as the Cho. I've seen this yesterday as well. I'm not sure if it's a target ban or there is something really to be scared of that Cho tank coming in. They're going to be banning out the Minsita as well. So first pick goes to RYZEN here. I wonder what they pick. I'm sort of expecting a Xavier for some reason, but I don't know if they're going to be picking it or maybe even a hyper coming in. They're going to be going for that Martyrs. I mean, good thinking as well because that Minsita is banned out.
Indeed. We've seen a lot of teams still respecting the Minsita, still banning him out because we know that he is pretty flexible. You can put him in the EXP lane in the jungle, even play him as a roamer. So they've been doing their work. But there's one more thing. We've seen Dragon King on the Terizla. He's done an excellent job at that, and Domain is also picked up the Beatrix. We've seen him on the Brody. He was not very comfortable onto that, but the Beatrix is something that his extremely comfortable with. He basically has all of those guns on the tips of his fingers. I mean it metaphorically as well as literally. And again, jumping to the next drafting phase. Martis being picked up as the jungler, I am expecting them to probably lock in their mage by this point. And yes, I would also lean in towards the Xavier.
I'm not sure. I mean, I hope we see a few good picks coming in here because that glue pick, I don't know if I've seen that in the tournament so far. I don't know if you have scared it. I literally haven't seen that glue. He is an amazing EXP laner. I'm not sure if they're going to throw a flex pick around and maybe run him in the tank, but I would prefer him in that EXP. And the only one that probably counters him right now is that Faramis, right? If I Daddy got no chill picks up that Faramis, it's going to be very hard to kill them. But looks like they're waiting for that mage pick coming in. They're going to be picking that Clint as well. I would pick that Faramis right up. I mean, Vexana is also a counter for the glue, but she does not have that mobility. And looks like they read my mind. They're going to be picking up that Faramis, and good thinking too, because otherwise, I feel like Ryzen would have banned him out.
Indeed, and someone's doing as a job as her analyst. Good work on that. And Valentina being taken away, we're gonna see the Ling banned out as well. Since of course Daddy got no chill need a jungler, though I would have kind of expected them to probably take away the Lancelot because Raykant Retri has his retributions on point, even with the Bane, even with the Lancelot. So I was thinking that maybe they could lean in towards that direction, but Atlas being taken away. So of course Daddy got no chill have an idea what kind of hero can counter their draft. When you've got a Faramis, you want all the people to stick together, and that's exactly what an Atlas wants. So they banned him out. But there's still one pick on board, Jinx, and that is going to be a Lolita. If in case Ryzen picks that hero up, they might have a pretty solid advantage in this drafting phase.
I'll have to agree with you. I mean, her ult really stops for Amos in his tracks if she uses it properly, obviously. But I'm not sure if they're going to be banning her out. I think maybe a Kufra or I mean, hopefully a tank ban is something that we're going to see. But they also, like we were talking about, banned out that Valentina, right? It feels like Daddy got no chill, really has no chill. I mean, they just don't want their teams to get countered. And overall, the team comp looks very fixed. It feels like they have a good running going on. For Amos, they banned out the Valentina, they banned out the counters. And look at that, the Kufra gets picked right away. Now, I would probably be expecting a Mino or even a healer at this point, Skedit. I think that would be really good. Kagura does come in. Not really a counter here, but she would be good, with that damage coming in. If she targets the Faramis, she might just be able to kill him before he uses his ult.
Absolutely. It's highly possible. And again, it's just as you mentioned, Zilong coming in, Glue as the main tank. I do not quite like that adaptation, to be honest, because Glue is not very tanky. He is squishy. You've already mentioned that. And since the Kufra has been picked up, Fanny is definitely a go-to option. Plus, I really love that skin. But again, we've seen Ray on the Lancelot. He might as well lean in towards that. And seeing that there is a Martyrs on the opponent, there's also a Zilong. Maybe he might actually go and pick up the Bane. Because you've got a ton of engage tools coming in from your opponent's side. So you would have to have that one disengage as well, which can protect your backline, can protect you as well. But for now, they're going to secure that dive in composition in the form of a Kufra, in the form of a Lancelot, a Rizla. And it's going to be an entirely front to back composition wherein Faramis, his whole job would be to save the life of Beatrix. Their entire damage would be revolving around Lancelot as well as the Beatrix. So I'm kind of liking their draft as well. Do you think the Zilong push would actually work out for Ryzen yet again, Jinx?
I don't know. I mean, Zilong really does not fare well against the Terizla coming in here from Dragon King. I would expect him to maybe be very smart with his pushing if that's what he was aiming for. I mean, he did it last game. He might be able to do it this game, but we are in the top 16. Scared it. It's going to be tough. The teams are not as easy as they were before. They are well versed. I mean, they know how to play the heroes. They know how to do the rotations, and I hope they don't let the Zilong get the better of them. But we are going to go into the land of Dawn very soon. But looking at both the drafts, I really like the Lancelot pick. I mean, from the side of Daddy got no chill, they didn't really have anyone to dive into those backlines for now and support that Kufra when he engages. And looks like they picked up the Lancelot just in time. So we're already in the land of Dawn. I'm excited. This is match number 3, Ryzen versus Daddy got no chill here. We just have to wait and see who's going to get the better of each other.
Absolutely, as it's still a top 16. You need to win this one to reach top 8, and both of these teams would be looking to get that spot. And again, it's the Martis jungle up against the Lancelot in the jungle. In terms of the advantage over the objectives. I think so. Lancelot should have that advantage. We know how well his execution line is, and Ray Retry, that has been a hoax the entire tournament. So I'm looking forward to his retributions and especially those battles that will be coming in, because in terms of rotation, I think so that Adigot Nochel have an advantage in that. They've got a Kufra, they also have a Faramis, would be able to rotate really quickly. But for now, the 3-man creep secure coming in, and that's the Litho Wanderer, Jinx.
That is true. And one more thing, right? The glue tank, not sure how good it's going to be, especially against the Faramis. I was sort of expecting, like, if the glue was being targeted as the tank and they saw that Faramis coming in, they probably would have chosen to pick another tank. Meanwhile, Clint gets poked out here in top lane. He's used up that flicker. It's a good thing he's not an EXP because he would have needed that flicker for that coming up turtle fight.
True, but it also would mean that Domain now has a little more edge in towards that goal lane. So might try to deny a few minions to Clint just to gain that early game advantage, because we know Clint is a very early game oriented marksman. You want to have that early advantage and that snowball effect coming in. Otherwise, in the late game, especially when you're up against a Kufra and a Terizla, it becomes quite difficult to, chunk through that defensive stacks that you'll be facing in. But for now, the first blood, Kagura gets the pick on Cube. He's gonna lose his stacks now, would be coming in pretty quickly before the turtle fight, but Martis in the meantime is able to take the trade elsewhere, finishing off Dragon King. So in terms of rotation, now we're gonna see the Kufra as well being picked off. That's everyone falling everywhere around the map.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting Daddy Got No Chill to have the advantage in the early game right now, but looks like that's not how it's going. They managed to chunk down that Faramis just in time for that turtle, right? And they also got the Terizla in bottom lane as well. That is a 2v1 fight. He's not as tanky as he's supposed to be, so he could not really sustain. It looks like they're doing pretty well. I mean, considering their team comps, I was a bit skeptical, but right now I'm not. But we do have to wait for those power sparks to come in, right? Because if Aramis is there, it's going to be hard to kill his team once he gets that ultimate up. And there's really no counter for him at this point. Glue, though, he is looking to be giving some vision for his team, but he does not really have a support. That's going to be a 2v5. I mean, 2v4 fight in top lane. Martis is making his way towards them. We might just see the first, team fight of this match right now.
I don't think so. There does not seem to be any kind of objective towards the top for now, since even the turtle is going to be up in the 60-second mark. So neither of them would be willing to go in and risk taking those casualties. Ray is actually going in for the tanky path, even though he has got the killing spree as his emblem. I was expecting him to probably go for the damage build, just like the last time, but nonetheless, securing the tanky route seems to be the case in this situation, as they know they've got the bailout in the form of Cult Altar in the hands of Q. But here's the thing. He picked up the glue. I was expecting RYZEN to actually go with a Claude pick into that gold lane, like possibly, so that they would have one counter at least. But for now, we're going to see the split coming in. Ray Retry trying to dodge it, will be brought back. No, not yet, but the decimation was there to finish things off for him, as well as he'll be losing his blue buff now.
That is true. I mean, I'm not sure they're really getting caught out here one by one. They're always alone. Looks like the rotation, that's the early game, right? You want the rotation, you want to be working as a team. And if this falls short, your mid to late game is going to suffer. But looks like that's what's happening. Martis definitely has a better rotation coming in. And this just might be a free total for the side of Team RYZEN here. But no one's really contesting, right? I mean, Kufra did think about it, but he realized his team is low on farm. They're almost 3k gold behind right now. They are going on that Kufra. I think he's going to be able to escape. Not sure. The glue is being pretty annoying.
He actually goes in for a good setup onto that Clint as he faces the Bennett's Rage as well as Nibiru's Passion for now, but that's going to be it. Cult Altar being used preemptively. Faram is trying to take him down, will be putting himself in the outway as the backline will be now threatened as the decimation comes online. One down, that's second. He will still go in for the Mortal Coils, wants to finish career off domain. He deletes him in an instant. Will this be a maniac? Will we see the first maniac coming in on day one? That's Clint taken down. So some kind of redemption coming in. Ray can't retreat. Has to run away. You have to run away. The time for maniac is over, but the split comes in yet again, catching him and finishing things off in style. That's 8-1 and a massive advantage in terms of itemization for the side of RYZEN.
That's true, and the goalie jumps up to almost 5k goal. I mean, 4k goal. Right now, it's gonna be hard. It always feels like Lancelot is 2 steps behind the Martyrs. He's always there on time, just like right now. He gets that kill on that Kufra. Not really someone you want to be targeting, but at this point, you will take anyone you get, right? They want blood. They want to end the game quick, and with the Martyrs, you really want to start snowballing, and that's what they're doing. And looks like they're going to get that top lane inhibitor as well, unless Beatrix manages to clear it somehow. Glow is going in to zone her out, and he succeeds. Glue though doing pretty well, right? I was sort of skeptical because of that Faramis pick, but looks like it's working out for them. Especially unsure why he went for those arcane boots, but he does pick up that first tanky item for himself there.
For now, no matter how much tanky Lancelot could be, he will be finished off in style, and that's Clint securing one. They actually get two as Paramus gets taken out of the picture. It seems like, the things have flipped entirely. It's Glue taking out the Faramis. Never thought I would actually see this day coming in, but they are massively using the advantage that they have, especially with that Zilong as well onto that EXP side, as there's no real punish coming in from Daddy Got No Chills whatsoever.
That's true.
That's kind of sus, as all of them are going. They've just got one finish, and that's Lancelot. Picked off
That's
Clint.
true, and Lance is a tank, so that's going to be tough. They do get to manage to cast that Terisla again in that mid lane. Faramis does escape. He used up his ultimate to save Terisla. It didn't really work out. I mean, but that's just obvious, right? His team has 0 farm. They're standing on 1 kill against 12. It's not going good. And Lancelot is also lacking in that farm. I mean, he has a very slow rotation. Looks like they're following the tune of RYZEN. For now, they're just going wherever they go and just clearing out those lanes. But those first tier inhibitors are gone, though. It's going to be tough. I mean, they're also invading the blue buff right now.
Talk about blue buff, you'll see them taking away the life of 2 people. That's the EXP as well as the mage in an instant. That's Cube Dragon King finished off. That's just by a Kagura. All eyes on me. I mean, you've literally got the attention of everyone at this point. Clock of Destiny, Lightning Truncheon, building up the Holy Crystal. I mean, he'll be decimating that backline. And the Beatrix is the only one who's highest farm, and that is just 4.6 thousand gold. Only a Blade of Despair. Nothing apart from that. No backing up coming in from the Heart's Claw either. So that's basically putting them in a real tight spot, as all of the tier 2s would be now in trouble, as they've already been chunked down to half of the HP, and the Lord will be marching in the Land of Dawn real quick. So seeing how blue the map is, it seems that they've got a pretty massive advantage, but maybe Sinpei. Oh, hello. Guess he can't hear me. Neither his teammates, as it's been taken down, and so is the tier 2 in the mid side.
That's true. I mean, the Kufra also gets caught out here, and they've got that tier 2, all the 3 turrets back down. I mean, it feels like Zilong is not alone in the pushing game right now. His team is supporting him. But another thing, right, there is a Zilong. So he's been farming up. He's not doing much for now, but he's someone to be looking out for. I mean, if the side of a team Daddy Got No Chill decides to maybe go for a gank towards the Lord, or try to, do a ganking, they always have to keep that eye out for the Zilong, because he's going to be pushing down that lane no matter what. We've seen this gameplay before. He doesn't seem that interested in team fights. He just wants to end the game, right? And that is something that's admirable. I mean, why do you want kills when you can just get turrets? And that's what we just might see. So the side of team Daddy Got No Chill, they really seem to be struggling. Last inhibitors remaining, no gold, no farm, and definitely no kills.
Exactly, and that just is trouble for the side of Daddy Got No Chills, as I mean, I don't see any way of them make a comeback in this game with the way that things are going for them till now, since they've got no map control whatsoever, no itemizations, unless We see RYZEN making a few mistakes, overextending, getting punished, basically giving away their life. Only in that scenario, I see them coming back in this game. Otherwise, it's basically done and dusted. But still, I would not put out all the hopes. They still have that ray of light remaining, and after this pause, maybe they'll have the time to get that reset in, get their mental back in place, and find out a way in which they can somehow turn the tables around.
That's true. I mean, they can take a breather here, figure out the game plan. I hope it's not lag or something like that. The pause is done. We're going to get right back into the game because the first lord of this match is up and Clint seems to be trying to take it down. But another thing I don't see from the side of Daddy Got No Chill, right? Literally no coordination. And also, the Kufra does not seem to be providing those setups that's expected of him. I mean, no one from the side of Team RYZEN can really dodge him, but he seems to be a bit too passive. Martyrs does get that first out of the game. It's not luminescent, but it's going to hurt them no matter what because they're literally almost like 8k behind farm. It's just going to be tough. They have the Beatrix though. She might be able to clear out that Lord, but I don't know. I think they're going to be losing those last remaining inhibitors as well.
I don't think so there's any way out of that without sacrificing those inhibitors. I don't think so it would be possible for them to actually save their crystal because even now Beatrix has made the rose gold meteor. So that's basically leaning in towards a little bit of a survivability and something of a lifesteal. But I don't think so. How is it going to fit into this current scenario wherein they actually need the burst damage? They probably would have needed a malefic roar at this point because I'm seeing a dominance ice coming in from Glue, as well as there's a dragon spear from both Zilong and Clint. So we're gonna have basically two Zilongs moving in this field, one in the form of Clint, one Zilong himself, and that's Kufra just deleted again in an instant. 050, not a good day for him at all. Would they be able to defend this lord? That's going to be the question. Red Tree to clear him out. Cult Altar as well to bait a few things. That's the spear flip coming in, and the entire dive composition showing its strength as they take them out one after the other. Q and Dragon King, both of them down. No more front line coming in. You do not have the Nibiru's fashion up. You do not have any way to clear that wave as now Martis will try to follow you for the decimation, and that is the crystal being targeted and the game being secured by RYZEN.
I mean, they played extremely well, right? Very disciplined game coming in from RYZEN. They always went in when they had those, objectives to get. They pushed down those lanes, and the first lord, that's not something you usually see. They did manage to end the game, the first lord, which is pretty impressive. The Martyrs did extremely well in the jungle. His rotation was always on point. He was always ahead of Lancelot, something that, you would want to see, right? Because Lancelot is an assassin. He's supposed to be, faster than you, but it did not work out. I'm not sure what exactly happened to Daddy Got No Chill. They were lacking in so many different ways. But another thing, Cadet, I think the Lance tank is not really in the meta right now. I think it's fallen off. Maybe I'm not sure if nerves have been coming to stop Lancelot. He used to be really good, but right now I would prefer Lance Assassin, and I think that's what they needed, right? You needed some damage because Faramis is there to support you so that you don't get killed. He does deal a lot of damage mid to late game, but you want that Lancelot to be jumping in those backlines, getting those kills, but it was not working out. The Faramis as well as the Kufra both having equally bad games. Your 050, it just did not work out for them. I mean, good luck next time, but they definitely have to pick up the game because this was just lacking in so many levels.
Indeed, but nonetheless, they did show their level. Both of them reached the top 16. That means that they are in the top 20 teams of the nation, and a good work to both of them for providing us with such an entertaining performance. Either ways, that is going to be Team RYZEN moving forward into the top 8, while the journey is going to end for now for the side of Daddy Got No Chills. But we've got one more amazing match remaining, and I know everyone out there have been waiting for it. It's going to be ABM taking on Team MAAF after this short break, guys. So make sure to stay tuned, hit that like button, and we'll be right back.
remember the ocean moon. Memories die out too hard. But we were traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tears. We set our mighty fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I remember the ocean moon. Memories die out too hard. But we were traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tears. We set our mighty fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I remember the ocean moon. Memories die out too hard. But we were traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tears. We set our mighty fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I remember the ocean moon. Memories die out too hard. But we were traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tears. We set our mighty fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here
And after the long wait, I know a lot of people out there have been sitting, waiting for this one specific match. And without any further delays, we are back in action, guys. You all are watching the Battleknights tournament brought to you by Battleknights Esports in collaboration with Mobile Saints, managed by Mayura and streamed by none other than Bad Tanker. This is the game of the evening. It's going to be between teams A, B, M on the blue side, taking on Team MAAF on the red side. The match that probably deserves a spot in finals or at least semi-finals. We'll see which team prevails in this game, as it will be a best of one. And the casters for this match will be me, Scared Yet, and alongside it's going to be none other than Jinx.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of a long wait there, Skillet, but I mean, good things take time, like you said, and we're going to be starting this off as soon as possible. We don't want you guys to wait. I mean, I definitely don't want to wait. I'm a bit sad though. I mean, one of the best teams in the tournament might just be getting out in this match. I mean, it's knockout rounds and it's best of one, right? They don't have any other chance except this one. I'm excited. Team MAAF, I believe, last season they were top global 2, and this season top global 3. ABM coming in here. I'm super excited. We can go into the draft pick as soon as possible. I think we're going to see those, Kufra setups as well as those. Apex, as far as I know, is a very good Franco player. And I remember James or Willow, they were really good at Lilia. She is nerfed though. I'm probably not going to be seeing her. But these are like the top players in India right now, man. And I'm like super excited to see them play.
Everyone is, and we can also hear the excitement in your voice as we're going to be jumping in the drafting phase, people. It is ABM with the first ban, and seeing the way that they have been doing things, I am kind of expecting them to again go forward with the assassin bans. Fanny being the first one. They love to pick the Fredrin into that jungle. They love to still lean in towards that little tanky jungle meta. So I think so that taking out those assassins would be the key to victory in this one, probably. But MAAF taking away the Kadita. What are your take on this?
I mean, Kadita, she's definitely a high level pick, right? I mean, she's like a one shot, and she's also, if she lands those 3-man stuns, it's almost impossible to escape her, especially with that Petrify. It's a very good ban coming in. She is either pick or ban in high level matches, and this is definitely a high level match, right? Fanny as well, very mobile assassin. She's going to be hard to catch. They really don't want to be taking risks, and looks like the side of team ABM as well as MAAF, they have their picks ready and bans as well, because I think they've been playing against each other quite a bit, I would expect, and they know what each other's do. They're going to be banning out that Martus as well. I believe it's for Jay. I think he prefers that hyper.
Yeah, he has been leaning in towards those tanky jungles as well. Even with the Martis, he loves to go in towards that tanky route. But I would not be surprised to see him on that damage as again, we know that's due to those emblem changes. The tanky meta has basically dulled a little bit, but nonetheless still pretty viable, and the respect being shown coming in from the side of MAAF. I still do think that this might actually be a rehost in this situation, since there's one ban that is missing. Radium was not able to ban it out. We'll confirm the decision after it's made from the management, guys. In short, still stay tuned as we will be proceeding further with the drafting phase. First pick, a lot of heroes open. A Faramis, even a Novaria. We also have Valentina, Joy, Arlott. You talk about a hero and it is up for grabs. Jinx, I think that they can actually probably decide to go in with the Savior, maybe.
But look like they're going to be going into that Hanabi. I'm not exactly sure. Hanabi first pick is not something you usually see, and she's definitely very easy to kill, right? So I'm not sure what the side of team ABM has decided. They are teasing the Layla as well as the 1-1. Are we going to the redraft here, Scared? Because look at the teams have, I'm not sure what's exactly going on here. I think it's a redraft.
Highly possible, but again, we will wait for the confirmation coming in from the team management. But nonetheless, I really love Hanabi Pig. What are you talking about? Come on, she can kill a Kagura.
Where is my target? Your team is
the Natalia coming in from the side of
This land is our home, and it will
that pick.
soon be your
I really love the fact that, there was a little rework on Natalia and she can literally decimate that backline way too quickly now. I really hated Nata, but now she's basically going bonkers and I could not do anything except be impressed by the playstyle that these people actually bring out on the table. And again, guys, we've got the confirmation. We will be having the draft again, so please ignore the bans and picks as of now. We will be seeing these teams going in with a different kind of drafting strategy. And that's going to give us a little more time and a little more room to actually talk about their play style and the drafts that they have actually had gone through in the previous few games. We've seen ABM landing in on that Fredrin, on that Faramis, even the Franco as their tank. And you already mentioned how Apex is actually a pretty solid Franco player, and as a tank he does his job excellently. But now he will actually be matched up against his one of the rival as Team MAAF. They also have Afraid, and Afraid has been absolutely disgusting on that tank role. He knows how to do his job well, and he's been showing us that again and again. I mean, time and time again, we've seen them going in with those combinations, those plays, those setups, and you can't do anything except be impressed in that situation.
I mean, I'll have to agree with you. I'm sort of glad that it's a redraft. I really don't want to be seeing Layla gameplay. I mean, especially with these amazing teams coming in here. Layla is good, no dis against Layla, but just not right now, right? It's going to be a redraft. We just have to wait and see what their actual picks are going to be coming in. I'm expecting maybe a Change must pick, right? Or maybe even a Lolita coming in the opponent, because Shanky, I mean, she has so much damage. She does a quick work of tanks as well when she gets those items, and she's actually pretty good at pushing as well. We might just see her being picked up in this match. But another thing here, Skidded, we can't really figure out what they're going to be picking, because all of them have, really huge hero pools. They're pretty well versed in their roles. They can play most of the heroes. We don't really know what they're going to be doing. It is a surrender coming in here. We're going to wait for that redraft.
Yep.
But in this, at least in this season, I haven't seen Team MAAF push. I don't know if they're in the global leaderboards yet, but I hope they've been playing it together, because I mean, the side of Team ABM is already in top 3, right? Just might get that border this season. What do you think? Like, do you think are they still practicing together? Because I haven't really seen them in the rank scene right now.
No idea. ABM do like to play together quite a lot, and still they're still doing all of those games and practices, I believe. A Team MAAF, and I've matched up against them quite a few times. I mean, when I was actually pushing the rank, I haven't played for this season a lot, just a little bit. I'm not in Epic at least, so do not troll me with that. But yes, these people, they know the basics of the game. They know those micro plays. They know the importance of small decision makings that we actually come forward with. So either ways, I am expecting this to be one of the best match that you could even hope for. But we still have a few more teams remaining. We know that there would be finalists out there who would be definitely putting up such an amazing performance, since they would be in the finals. But for now, in this top 16 match, again, everyone out there just waiting for this one to go on, waiting for this match to start. And yes, it is taking time. And for all the people out there, it's absolutely fine. Good things take time. Good things come to those who don't wait around. That's basically what Bennett says, and that's a different game. And I know, Jinx, you do remember that character, don't you?
I mean, I do, but I want to know something, Scared. Why exactly did Hanabi get MVP? I mean, I don't think any of them did anything, and she got that MVP, and she was the only one. The rest of everyone got bronze. Is that some sort of? I mean, I don't know what that really happened. I hope Jay gets the MVP in the duel match, which is coming up very soon. I'm pretty excited, and I'm sure the viewers are excited as well. I mean, I think we can just jump right into the draft pick at this point. I hope the teams are ready right now. We want to see those good picks coming in, right? So what are you expecting? Like, are there some heroes you expect to see? They did ban out the martyrs, as well as I'm expecting like a few of those target heroes. But like I was saying before, they have such big hero pools, you can't really figure out what they're going to pick.
Absolutely. And they always have something in their pool. That's just as you mentioned. You mentioned about the Layla. I wanted to point out that ABM actually picked the Layla in one game, and they won that. And that was an 8-0-10 Layla in the hands of Radiant with the Berserker's Fury, Hearthclaw, Windtalker, Malefic Roar. Did not even go in for a Dragon Spear. They were like, these items are fine. And Radiant was just decimating everyone in their opponent. And that was I would say one of the toughest match that ABM actually faced. I know they've basically been winning all their matches pretty easily, but that was the one in which they actually had to sweat a little bit. They had to work in that early game since they were behind. As the draft of their opponent was actually pretty solid with the Fanny, Kufra, Yuzhong. Definitely would expect a Layla for not to work out. And it was being shown in the starting, but Radium, just the skills that he have, it's going to be a treat for all the people who would want to watch that gold lane matchup.
What's your command?
That's Layla. That's something that Radium can pull out. The Erithiel, that's something that he can pull out. So you would definitely want to see this matchup coming in between both of these teams, as we always know Micro Boy on that Beatrix just slams in the game. I can't even wait to look forward to this game as we're going to jump back in the draft, guys. It's again the Fanny, the Kadita. Both of those bans will be retained, but the Terizla is going to be the second ban coming in from EBM.
Yeah, I feel like we're seeing the same sort of bans coming in like the previous, short time that we spent in the draft pick. Except that Terizla was missed out, right? Gets banned out as well, as the Martyrs and Fredrin. So standard bans, they really did their homework. They knew what they wanted to ban, but sadly, a bit of issue came in. First pick does go to Jay here. Not exactly sure what he's going to pick. I mean, so many heroes are open. I'm expecting maybe a fighter like a Lapu. No, please no. I know you won that, that pick, but I don't know how well Hanabi is going to fare against such an extremely good team, right? Because I don't think Team MAAF is going to let that hang out. They're going to be picking out that Valentina coming first pick from Asuna here. I mean, Asuna is an amazing mace player, right? He can probably pull off any hero, and he's going to be pulling off that Valentina. Now, the side of MAAF, they can't really go for those CC heroes because Valentina is just going to be, be stealing their ult. They do pick up that Beatrix as well, like you were talking about. So good picks coming in here.
Indeed. Now, again, yes, I would want to see Hanabi, but Team MAAF would definitely not forgive APM for picking a Layla in this situation and when the stakes are so very high. And we have seen Xbox being banned out a lot of times, but this time he was left open and Boshi quickly secures it as well. Microboy on the Beatrix, just as you mentioned, that would be a delight to watch. But the next few picks, Alem secures his Uranus. Now we know how insane his Uranus is. He is absolutely beast into that EXP lane. Could have also gone with the Arlet, but decides to stick with the Uranus. Now, what's going to be the answer for the Beatrix? They secure the Claude. Jinx, why do I feel that this might actually be a Granger jungle into the hands of James?
I don't know.
James, my bad, Jay.
Jay probably, I mean, Granger would be good here. Or maybe Assassin as well. We just have to wait and see. It is going to be the third pick by Afraid here coming in. Xbog as well, that he can be played in the jungle. He can be played in the EXP. I sort of prefer him in the EXP, or he's going to be good against this Uranus. I mean, Uranus is just so tanky. He regenerates his HP so fast, so I feel like this Xbox might be good, or even Esmeralda. I mean, that is something that we are yet to see her. I'm not sure if they're going to be picking her up, but she would fare well against the Uranus as well. So they're going to be picking up the Chang'e, like I was saying. I mean, I sort of expected the Chang'e pick. I mean, but another thing here, Skedada, Lolita is still, available. Not sure if Apex is going to be picking her up, or it might just get banned here. They're going to be going for the Kufra ban, but I don't know. I mean, I've seen those Lolita picks, and she's going to hurt in this match.
It is highly possible, and that it's just as you mentioned, would be a perfect counter to the Chang'e as well as the Beatrix. And Kufra ban, they're respecting Apex. They know that he can be decimating onto his signature hero. So banning out the Kufra, might as well want to take away the Atlas, but maybe he, take out the Kaja as well. He loves to play those pick-off potential heroes too. And we've seen him on the Franco. It's also up for grabs. So there are just a lot of heroes remaining to be taken away. You basically have to choose your poison at this point. So might as well just ban out the Lolita and make sure that your Chang'e and the Beatrix do not get hard countered with that shield.
That is true, but they're going to be going for that Grog. You know what that means? That Franco is open. Both sides haven't really picked up the tank right now. I would say maybe Mino, Kaja, as well as Franco. Those three are the ones we're going to be seeing right now. Or maybe even a healer Scadet. I mean, some of these top lanes, they really like those healers, right? Florine, Angela. Maybe not the Esses right now, but the other two do provide good utility. The Franco though is being teased by Afraid. He's going to be picking it up just to limit Apex a little bit. I don't know what they're going to be picking as their tank right now because Kaja is banned out. I mean, Mino is there. Are they going for the healer like I expected?
Nah, I still think that he has the Atlas on board, can pretty easily secure the Atlas. And yes, there's also Minnow available. And never mind that, I forgot about the Minsitha. We've seen Apex on the Minsitha as well in the previous few games. He did show us that. But I hope my eyes are not defying me. It's the Esmeralda in the jungle. Am I seeing that correct?
I mean, you are. I've seen it quite a few times. She's actually pretty good in the jungle, and you know who else she's good against? The Chang'e. I mean, she has the. Chang'e has the shield. Esmeralda likes the shield. It's gonna work out pretty well for her. I sort of like that pick coming in. Esmeralda pretty good in the jungle, especially when you have the Uranus as well as the Minnesota. She's going to have that good support coming in. And the Cloud, right? He's going to be jumping in the back lane and helping her out with the Beatrix as well as the Chang'e here. And then you have the Valentina who's going to probably steal Franco's ult. So there's like two Francos in this match right now. But the counter for that Esmeralda and Uranus comes right in. We have the Dairoth hyper coming in from Willow here. So the drafts have been picked from both sides. I mean, it's pretty. I don't know who's going to win looking at both the teams right now.
I love the Dairoth pick from MAAF. Really love it. Dairoth hard counters the Esmeralda. Dairoth also, can counter the Uranus as well. You know that the penetration would be enough to actually deal that damage. Plus, when he's in the jungle, he would be able to farm way too quickly. You would be able to secure your first item. It could be either a Blade of Heptasis or even a Hunter Strike. Both of them would work out really well, especially combine it with the Killing Spree, the emblem that Willow is going with. That is absolutely perfect. And it's going to literally be a mind-boggling battle between both of these teams. ABM on the blue, while Team MAAF on the red. Esmeralda in the jungle. Dairoth in the jungle. It's basically one of the grand finals that you'll be witnessing in the form of best of one in the Battleknights tournament, guys. This is going to be one of the most amazing matches, and we are jumping in the land of dawn. Let's see who gets the win.
I mean, we just have to wait and see. I've seen both these teams, they like to end those games pretty fast. Now, this one, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to succeed in ending. Franco is trying to, annoy the Esmeralda just a little bit. He managed to hook the blue buff here, so that gets reset. Minster was a bit late in providing that support. So that is a bit, sad because Dairoth already got his red buff over there in the top. We just have to wait and see. I mean, both the sides, they have those counter picks to each other. So I'm not really sure who's going to succeed. I mean, the starting of the game is going to tell us quite a bit. Minster, though, does manage to hook that. I mean, Franco managed to hook that Minster. He is going to be chunked down low. The Chang'e used up her flicker as well to get that kill. It didn't work out, though.
Indeed, but for now, Asana seems to be in trouble as he would be running out of the harm's way. Last shot just missing by an inch, and Willow wants to take this fight forward. This Alim seems to be in trouble, low on HP, and the first blood comes out. It's Boshi who secures that pick. Both the EXP laners rotating at a perfect time. This is the kind of clash that you love to see, but for now, James seems to be clashing with Jay. He wants to run out of the harm's way, would not be allowed to do so as a jungle Esmeralda just spams out those skills, would be easily be able to match that movement speed. That's 1-for-1 trade. Both these teams are so very proactive throughout that map.
That is true. I mean, but in the mid lane, though, Dairoth getting caught out here, he's going to be able to escape. Not really anything happening to him right now. Game has been paused. I'm not sure if they asked for a pause. Did you
Could
see
be
that?
technical. Yeah, it could be a technical pause, but either ways, we'll get a little more time to actually talk about this draft. Plus, we also have this one sneak peek of the items that these people are going to build on. For now, Uranus again probably would prioritize the steel leg plates. He's up against Boshi on that Xbox. So we know Xbox would be able to deal that true damage through that shield, through that healing, and could actually hurt Uranus down. So Alim needs to be a little more safe in this situation. While we're seeing Afraid is not afraid at all with those hooks, landing it on Apex as well. And that is one of the key to victory. Both of these tanks are the ones who are really good at initiation, but that initiation depends highly on how well they can land in their hooks. We've seen Apex, we've seen Afraid. It just is going to come down to those micro plays and those micro decisions. When the time is right, you would get the hook going.
That is true, and also, meanwhile, while the pause is running out, we have to talk about those counter picks. I mean, they do have the Dairoth for the Esmeralda as well, the Uranus, but they also have the Valentina, right? And she can steal Franco's ult. So if Dairoth is too threatening, and if he's too farmed up, there's always Valentina who can stop him. But another thing, though, if Valentina chooses to use that ultimate on Dairoth, then Change as well as BTX are going to be freely hitting you from the back. Not exactly sure. I mean, both the teams do have good drafts here overall, but I'm sort of leaning towards the side of Team MAAF, right? I mean, it just seems more well-rounded. They seem to have more, utility coming, especially the Dyro pick, like you said. I really like that. Right now, it's doing pretty well for them. It is one kill to both sides, so it looks like they pre set. They're doing those rotations. They're going to be waiting for that first turtle before we see those team fights starting up. And these sort of teams, right, they like to end their games fast, like I was talking about. So if that first turtle, whoever it goes to, they just might start streamlolling, and then this snowball the whole game. Maybe Esmeralda might not be able to, snowball as well as Dairoth, but if she gets those items, she's going to be pretty tanky. It's going to be hard to kill her, especially the Change which she counters.
Ooh, and very well analyzed in this situation. And finally, we're going to run out of that pause timer as we'll be jumping back in the game. The one that everyone's been waiting for very diligently. And I expected Uranus to make steel leg plates, but is going for the Dreadnought armor. And that's a pretty good decision because Xbox deals damage with his skills. So you're just going to lower down the damage that he'll be able to deal with his fire missiles. Since now the first turtle is up, we are seeing both of them rotating towards that top side. The King's Calling is going to be extremely important. Apex does not have that level 4 yet. Does not connect with the hook as the turtle will be easily secured by Jay. But that's Afraid with the perfect hook into the abyssal strike. Securing the pick on Apex. You take the turtle, we take one of your main guys out there, and that's the pick they needed. And even the hook connecting, almost stealing away the blue buff. But for now, Jay is going to have fun. He will be able to secure his own blue.
That is true, but for how long? I mean, the side of Team MAAF has the Change, right? And usually, if you have the Change, you need to be very careful of where she is because she's going to be ulting your buffs right, left and right. That is something we would need to watch out for. Meanwhile, rotation coming towards the bottom lane here. Apex, it depends, right? Both of those hookers coming in. I mean, Apex as well as Afraid, they both can hook each other out. We just have to wait and see who hooks first right here.
Indeed, absolutely. And for now, we're going to see the engage towards the top side, wherein Uranus seems to be in trouble. Dairoth and Xbox, both of them out there. He's just healing himself back up. Alim, again, we know the healing machine he is. We know how Uranus can actually, stay in those fights, kite around, lower down his own HP, then get back to the full HP, even without the consecration. And that's what we are seeing. Both the teams knowing that gold lane is their win condition as well. Microboy on the Beatrix, Radium on the Claude. Both the ADCs need to farm up. They need to get their items. Micro is going to get a very huge power spike as soon as he builds up that BOD, but it needs to be built early. That is one of the key for a Beatrix. Snowball! That's another hook into the bloody hunt along with the Bennett's Rage, Nibiru's Passion. You'll be seeing no more of Apex. As for now, James again seems to be the target. Flicker comes out. That's going to be the dash coming in. No more Abyssal Strike, but the final slash. That's going to be coming in from Boshi. He secures that pick using the Lasting Insanity. And that's the jungler out of the picture. Good engage for the side of MAAF, and they should secure the turtle as well.
That's true. This might be a free turtle for the side of MAAF. Uranus, though, being pretty annoying there. They can't really chunk him down right now. They don't have those items. I think only Dairoth can. He does secure the turtle as well. Another team fight going on. Mr. Lance, amazing ultra, and they get that Franco. I mean, finally, I bet there's other people saying that. Well, I mean, Franco was just hooking people left and right there.
Indeed, but for now, that's going to be the hook coming in from Apex. They should be able to secure the kill on James as Jay as Apex still tries to run away. That's even Willow falling in that fight, overextending a little bit, but look at how far Asuna is in. That's the flicker coming in from Micro. Asuna is basically a dead man walking at this point. In the meantime, Radiant quickly clears the mid wave and now will chunk down the mid tower to half HP. We'll run out of the harms way using the BMI. So utilizing the situation, the opening that his team created, and then just dealing some objective damage, it's also a very smart move coming in from the side of ABM. And again, MAAF just playing so very objectively, just taking the fights, knowing that they would be able to win that specific one. However, we are still seeing some of the overextensions. Jinx, you might want to talk about the itemizations. Maybe a little bit later as Willow was almost caught in the King's Calling and now wants to force the issue. Apex will retreat back as well while James jumps in. That's going to be the bloody hunt on to Radium, who would be taken down. Microboy not taking any tower shots, and there was a siege minion hook coming in, but that is just afraid. Apex needs to run away, low on HP, will be taken down. While Asuna tries to jump in using his own Abyssal Strike stolen from Willow, would not be able to secure any pick as the fight finally concludes and we can finally talk about the items.
That is true, but one other thing I want to talk about though, looks like MAAF is going to get that bottom lane inhibitor. It's going to be hard to defend. But meanwhile, the damage coming in from that Dairoth, I mean, we were saying he was a good counter against the Esmeralda as well as the Uranus, and looks like he's doing pretty well. Another team fight starts out.
And Radium tries to get them all low HP. James should be able to take Beatrix down. Takes one, takes two. After all, still surviving. Jay will be able to finally get shuttered. James using the meteor shard to go in for the disengage. I'm so very confused between Jay and James, but nonetheless, I'm talking about the Esmeralda in that situation, who's basically gone in for an enchanted talisman. Now that is something that I would kind of question, but another thing I would like to question was why would Afraid walk into the King's Calling, as now it seems that James is not going to survive that either. Lasting Insanity coming in. Xbog rotating right from top towards that bottom side. Now that was not Xbog, actually, that was Asuna. These people have got me confused.
But another, I mean, they are doing pretty well though. They were sort of losing out the momentum in the starting of the match from the side of Team ABM, but they got it right back. They lost that bot lane inhibitor, and they, just got that bot lane of the enemy side as well, right on time. They're doing pretty well for themselves. The only really problem they're having is just Dairoth, right? He's dealing way too much damage. But another person who's dealing too much damage, who was not really being noticed, is that Claude. Another team fight coming in. Dairoth secures that turtle though.
Absolutely, and they also take down Uranus in the meantime. Oh, lasting insanity by Asuna gets a double in that. Boshi tries to survive. The HP will be back a little bit, but not enough, as that's going to be the shutdown. Finally, Apex redeeming himself, getting one pick and a hook onto Afraid right on the edge. Fine, I'll do it myself, says Apex, takes two of them down, and that is a 4 for absolutely one trade. And they will lose their red alongside their top tier 1, maybe tier 2.
I don't know, I hope this Dairoth as well as the Beatrix are there in time. They were focusing too much on those team fights. They were not really focusing on that Claude, and he's doing a good job pushing those inhibitors down. He is getting caught out here for that Dairoth. He just diving a bit too deep here. I think he didn't expect the Esmeralda support coming in for that Claude, but I would play it safe just a little bit. I mean, they are losing that momentum.
Indeed, but for now, Afraid will be taken down yet again. Asuna doing just an amazing job using the lasting insanity, stealing it time and time again as the meteor shaft finally connects. We're going to see Boshi jumping with his own lasting insanity. Going to be caught in the hook alongside with the King's Calling. And that's 1-for-1 trade. That's actually a 2-for-2 trade, man. These teams just do not stop. trading people out left and right, and finally we'll see some of the items as Jinx Claude has made the Demon Hunter alongside the Golden Staff.
That is true. That means he's online, right? He's going to be dealing that damage. I've seen him dive in those, three-man back lane. It's working out pretty well for them. But like you talked about that enchanted talisman on the Esmeralda, it's pretty standard item. She wants that region. She wants that CD. A region of the mana, and she wants that CD as well. So it works out. The first lord of this match is going to be coming up. For now, at least Dairo seems to be doing a pretty good job with that retribution. He is securing those objectives. Sadly, those turrets are not standing. They've lost too many turrets at this point for that first lord, and it's going to hurt them if they let this lord go. That conceal play coming in here from the Franco. Look at them. They're all just following him.
Oh, almost could have landed a hook on Asuna, but this basically gives the lot of opening to ABM to secure this lord easily, as everyone will now be positioned aggressively towards those bushes, making sure there's no engage. Apex missing the hook. Oh, afraid almost. I mean, every time he's about to hook someone, I just gasp in midair because that could be the hook of the game. Both of these initiators could land that hook of the game. However, this lot depends on this one. If in case ABM are able to take one of those inhibitors out using this push, that's basically going to give them a lot of advantage. While for the side of MAAF, they need to make sure that their inhibitors are standing at least so that they do not lose that wave priority. Yes, the waves will be pushing in since the control would definitely be in the hands of ABM, but at least there won't be any kind of mega minions, and seems like ABM are actually going to respect it. They are not pushing forward with this one. Happy with the bottom tier 2. Will probably take the mid one as well. Bennett Straits to clear out those waves. Apex just moving out of the harm's way in that scenario, and that's about it. That's a pretty solid defense if you ask me.
I mean, they just lost one turret, but I would say they lost too many turrets at this point, right? They're losing that momentum. It would have been tough for them to push in because the Chang'e is there, and we all know how quickly she chunks down their Lord. Right now, they're looking for that mid lane inhibitor as well. Chang'e does use the ultimate to clear it. FX though goes into deep, just gets chunked down. It just might be a disengage. I would disengage if I was them. Willow does seem to want a few kills, but they're not going to be doing it for now. They're going to be retreating. A good disengage coming in here, right? Scared it. I was almost scared that Epic is going to lose his life, but he did pretty well. His team was there. You see how they surrounded him, made sure no one really took his life away from him.
Absolutely. And even that King's Calling was in such a position that no one from the side of MAAF could actually flicker in. So they had to respect it. They had to keep their distance. They wanted to go in for a pick or two, but just were not able to. And it's just as you say, the disengage was extremely well. I would really love to point out the way Asuna is playing on this Valentina, stealing away the lasting insanity and using it in such a way that you always catch at least 2 or 3 people. And you would never expect a Valentina to steal away a lasting insanity, especially when you have a Meteor Shower, when you also have the Nibiru's Passion, you have the Franco's ultimate as the Bloody Hunt, the suppression. No one would even think of prioritizing a mere lasting insanity over those ultimates. But Asuna is just showing how you can utilize it in such a great way that you can create chaos in that backline. Even this front-to-back composition is not working out for MAAF, at least for now, but still, they have a very good chance at this because we've seen a lot of goal leads and goal differences, but this time it's only of 3,000, and I think so that is, it does not even matter at this point of time because you basically have the same amount of items.
I'll have to agree with you. I mean, I would have to note down that point about Asuna. Team fight though coming in for that Lord Franco misses his hook again, but
Foshi with an amazing lasting insanity saving his own life, but that Bennett Straits was amazing. Below missing out the Abyssal Strike, and King's Calling between 3 people. Finally, that's going to be one person taken out as afraid, uses up his Bloody Hunt, but Radium coming at clutch, takes 2, takes 3. That could be a savage, maybe not. Shut down, Willow takes him out. Asuna just dodging out the Dyrod skills. Would be able to survive. What a clutch play coming in from Radium. Oh, dude just saved the game for his team.
Oh, that's true. I would be saving the Franco ult for that. The Claude. Radium is doing really well on that Claude right now. I mean, he was unchecked throughout the whole game. He got free farm, and now he's just doing extremely well. 4-2-7. He's the highest farmed in this game. That's a 10k goal lead he has under his name. That's going to be hard to beat, especially with the Beatrix, right? I hope she makes that Wind of Nature pretty soon because this Lord is going to hurt them. It's a Luminous Lord, and they don't have many remaining turrets. He's going to just whack one of those top or bottom lane. I think the bottom lane is the one that's going to go. It's going to be hard to defend, especially with that dive com they have going on. Esmeralda, though, doesn't seem to be making any difference. She's going full out damage. I mean, Ice Queen won Feather of Heaven. She is just complete damage items right now. She's going to hurt that backline. I mean, she's going to be giving them shield, but she's going to be also be taking it away. I mean, she's going to be draining their HP.
That's not your shield. That's our shield. That's probably what Jay would be saying, building up the Stalum site. Even the Ice Queen want to get that extra slow in. But looking at the other side, we also have Chang'e on the Ice Queen wand as well as on the glowing wand. But again, it's just registered. Lord marching down the bot would be taken care of. Inhibitor still standing for now. Both top is also taken care of, but the mid one falls. And it's still trying to find an angle to probably go and get a hook in. They would just they would brute force that bottom inhibitor. Now, two of them are lost. I would still say a pretty decent defense. All in. Ooh, that's a hell lot of damage he just took. No Athena shield, and he's being punished for it.
That is true. Only the top lane inhibitor remains. For now, they have managed to defend their base. But the third lord of this match, 80 seconds in, and that's all the time they have to, things change things up. Sadly, Franco's hooks were landing in the starting of the match, but now it really feels like he's not able to connect with anyone right now. I mean, Claude is going to be hard to catch. Uranus, even if you catch him, who's going to melt him? The only one right now is probably Suna, but he is. Nah, that's a defense. They defend that, but they use a lot of ultimates just to defend that top lane. I mean, Chang'e as well as Beatrix, they are looking to dive in, though Xbox is going in a bit deep, providing that vision. But those lanes are getting pushed up scaled. I mean, look at the bottom lane. That's a big minimum wave waiting to be cleared.
Indeed. And this also means that there's absolutely no map control for MAAF. They do not have any idea where in those bushes could ABM be. Any bush could be a death bush at this point, and they have Peel in the form of Afraid, but I don't think so he would be able to just open up the map like any other tank would have been able to in this situation. Since, yes, Franco, definitely a tank, is also on a little bit of that squishy end whenever you talk about it. So you have to create that distance and also land in that hook to get the enemy closer to you and get them off position to pick them out. Finally, we're going to see Beatrix finishing off the boots. Concealed play coming in. Apex seems to be in trouble. Would be able to retreat back, but the hook connects on Asuna. And the problem person is out of the picture. This could be the opening MAAF was looking for. This could be the time for them to take control of the Lord Pit, to finally take control of that map and push forward. They do not have the Bloody Hunt. They do not have the Meteor Shower, but Abyssal Strike, Lasting Insanity, and all of Beatrix's ultimates are still available. Apex still trying to find an opening to land that King's Calling in to prevent any kind of dash coming in from below. Bennett's Rage finally connecting. Arlen going towards that backline. Lord has been secured by Dino. The last insanity connection to two people alongside with the ultimate of Claude would be chunking them low, but that's all the trades are going in. Jay will be able to take a double, and now Willow is running for his life as Boshi helps him out, tries to make sure he survives, but that is all he could do. Willow, that is not the direction for your base. And Alim would just chase him till eternity. The Lord comes out, so they would be able to survive, but how long, that is the question. Microboy, 15 seconds, James, 13 seconds, and a big wave in the mid is coming in. And look at that game of tag. Willow finally uses a retreat, tries to survive. Xbox still trying to defend against three people, goes in for yet another ultimate, does not have the Firaga armor, tries to somehow kite the wave and successfully manages to do it. And look at Willow. the
Oh, he's
guy.
still running. He's not. He is just on 1 HP. Finally, though, that was a full map chase coming in here from the Uranus. I think just teasing him just a little bit. I mean, not letting him go back to the base.
That was so fun to watch. But again, hats off to Xborg, man. Boshi just getting the defense of his lifetime. 3 people right on his face, still standing strong. And James, though, wants to kind of change it, went in a little too aggressive. That's a defensive lasting insanity for the disengage. And I guess we're going to have to wait for the Lord Dance yet again, Jinx. Maybe not.
That was true, but another hook comes in by Franco. He's doing well. He gets that Minstar out, but that top lane inhibitor, they lose that in the process. They have those minions coming out from the base. They might just be looking in to dive. Look how fast that Dairoth is running. He uses up his tree, but he gets chunked down instead. I would not suggest that he goes in as that front lane because he's not able to sustain any of the damage.
Absolutely, but seriously, I believe ABM just wanted that inhibitor. So even at the loss of Apex, they're pretty happy with that trade. They're gonna have the advantage. But Jay could get a falling star moon. Does not want to overextend. Knows that they're at a man disadvantage. Will still try to play it safe. And no more inhibitors means all the waves would be pushing automatically, and that is what's happening. Look at that top wave. If the second one crashes, this could be a pretty solid chance for EBM to go in for a backdoor. All right, they're gonna go back. Yeah.
I mean, they go back, but Lord is coming up in the next 15 seconds. I hope they make it back into that Lord pit by the time the Lord comes up because this just might be right up the last one, was it? But they got a good defense going and they managed to get that Lord as well. But this one, if they don't, try to get this Lord, maybe try to steal it, maybe go in with that conceal play, it just might be GG for the side of Team MAAF. I don't really see how they're going to be able to defend because Claude is definitely going to be focusing down that last remaining base of his. They do manage to use that conceal. Nothing much really happened though. Xbox gets chunked out here. They are getting zoned out heavily, and even Willow can't even get in there.
Oh, finally, he actually dashes out of the harm's way, but that's going to be the Bloody Hunt connecting, and they actually try to take Uranus down. Consecration has already been used up, so it starts it up for the Winter Truncheon. That should be a 1-for-1 trade, maybe in the backline. That is going to be everyone on the side of MAAF low, so they will retreat. They will respect the damage from Jay, from Radium. And they took down Alim, but they lost the Lord. Still, I believe they have the man advantage. They should be able to defend this.
I mean, I would be venturing outside the base, right? They definitely don't want the Lord to be getting into that base because then it's going to be free for that base to get stolen by this Claude. But another thing, though, I wish the Franco had saved his ultimate for the Claude. He's definitely dealing way too much damage against all 4 of them. It's hurting them quite a bit. They do have the Chang'e, though. She's going to be chunking down that Lord. And this is another defense coming in here. Beatrix, though, gets chunked down. She gets caught out.
Absolutely, and the hook of the game probably as Apex flickers forward, everyone falling one after the other, and they're still trying to defend. Willow trying his level best to deal the damage and survive, but that's just a freight remaining. As in the backside, Jay will take James down, and with that, ABM will move forward in the top 16 to top 8. What a journey and what a match between these teams. Absolutely mind-boggling, and the Esmeralda jungle works out for them. What a play and what a god-tier hook coming in from Apex.
That is true. I mean, they probably would have won it either ways. It would be a hard defense, but the hook on that Beatrix really won that game for them. Like I was saying, though, Skedet, Esmeralda jungle, pretty good. Not many people using her, but she's doing pretty well in the jungle. As for now, especially against such a team comp, Dairoth was her counter, but they started falling short mid to late game. Those hooks weren't landing. Dairoth was just going too much in the front. He was getting caught out. And another thing, no one was really stopping this Claude, right? As well as Asuna, he was definitely being a menace with that Xbox ult, but that I would say at the end of the day, Radium dealing 25% damage, and it was all towards the back lane. It was all on Chang'e or this Beatrix, and then Uranus was going in there to finish them off. So it was just definitely amazing teamwork that usually don't see from any other teams, but we're going to be seeing it in this match. They played extremely well, and the coordination. They were losing that starting of the match, but then they did extremely well mid to late game.
ABM, might as well just name them God of Comebacks because that's what they have been showing time and time again. Alim with 32% damage tanked as a main tank, not even as a main tank, he was basically an EXP laner. So doing an excellent job, basically doing what every Uranus does. Now, again, not every Uranus needs to jump into the enemy base and cut two waves. Alim clearly showed the way. You can also play him by keeping him in his own lane. So guys, please take a note of that and do not spam Uranus into the opposition's jungle with the recall button. That is outrageous. But coming back to this match yet again, it's everything that you mentioned, the perfect coordination between both of these teams. Everyone just jiggled that damage really, really well. And again, the Esmeralda jungle worked out excellently. Even though James picked up the Changer, Esmeralda as the last pick for ABM, that basically meant that James would be rendered useless in the match because he would have to try and run away. And since Esma in the jungle would have the movement speed to catch up, James would basically be giving his shield back to Jay. And that is what we saw. That was where the entire difference came in. Yes, both the marksmen were doing their job, both the tanks were doing their job, even the EXP laners, they were just outworldly, both of them, making sure that their rotations were on point. But after all that, it was just this one specific draft adaptation, which basically resulted in the demise of MAAF, and ABM were able to prevail in this battle. But still, this battle is over, but they have a war to look forward to in the quarters, in the semis, as well as the grand, probably. Now, that is if they managed to win in the next game in their best top 8 match. That's the quarterfinals. We will see what will be the results of those matches. Still, we have 4 more matches to look forward to tomorrow. That would be the top 16. We will find the last remaining top 8 members, guys. This has been a great evening and a great casting with all of you, for all of you. This is me, Scared Yet, casting alongside Jinx. That was the last match of the evening. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a good night.
Memories die out too hard. We were traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tears. We set down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy